A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Jerry of the Circus. Now for Jerry of the Circus.
Hey, Tom, look at
what, Jerry?
Well, there's Ham over there. See him?
Oh, yeah. He sure is funny, isn't he?
Yeah. He acts like he's half asleep all the time.
Oh, Ham.
Yeah?
What you doing, Ham?
Oh, I'm just thinking. That's all I'm doing right now. I'm just thinking.
Well, what you thinking about?
Well, I was just thinking about what I'm supposed to do. I was supposed to do something, but I don't remember what it was, so I'm just thinking to see if I can find out.
You sure forget quick.
Oh, that's because I had my mind on your friends, them Roosians that put on the riding show yesterday. Yeah, they sure are good, them Roosians.
He means the Rusoff troupe.
Yeah, I know. You liked them, huh, Ham?
Oh, they were really something. Say, they can ride them horses better than anybody I ever did see. When they were riding standing up, I really got scared. I never saw anything like that before. I guess that's because I never been where they were before, and that's why I didn't see them.
They're just about the best riders in the world, I guess.
The best trick riders, anyway.
Where you boys going to now? You going someplace, I'll bet you.
Well, we were heading down the line to see my dad.
Oh, he's out there on the track with Blaze. See him?
Oh, sure. There he is, Tom. And he's got Blaze all saddled. I guess he's waiting for Warren to come and give Blaze his last workout. Come on, let's get over there.
Can I come along and watch, or don't you think maybe I shouldn't order?
Sure, come on along, Ham.
But hurry.
You want me? You mean me? I should hurry? Oh, me.
Well, Mr. Rogers.
He sees us, Jerry. Coming, Ham?
I'm coming, yes, sir.
Poor Dad. He sure is worried about that race this afternoon.
I don't blame him. It sure would be awful if he didn't win.
Hello, boys.
Hiya, Dad.
Hello, Mr. Rogers.
Who's your friend there in back of you?
Oh, Ham. He wanted to watch Blaze do his workout.
Yes, Master Rogers, if you don't mind, sir.
Oh, glad to have you, Ham. Say, Tom, did you happen to see Warren over by the stable?
No, sir, I didn't.
I wish that boy would be a little more prompt. He's 10 minutes late already.
I saw Mr. Rogers, sir.
You did? Where?
He was down at the other end of the line talking with Mr. Elston just a while ago, sir.
Talking with Elston, you say?
Yeah, sir.
Who's that, Mr. Rogers?
Elston owns the two fastest horses in the state.
Well, which ones are they?
He's the owner of Morning Sun and Silver Streak.
Really?
Yep. But lucky for the rest of us, he's only entering one. He's just running Morning Sun under his colors.
Say, I heard someone talking about those two horses yesterday.
Oh, that Morning Sun is the one big threat of the race this afternoon. He can win it, all right.
My boss says his horse is going to win the race, and he knows what he's talking about, and that's what he told me. He said that to me.
Well, Ham, everybody that enters a horse hopes that his entry will win. But there's just going to be one winner when the race is over.
Look at Dad. Here comes Warren now.
Well, about time, I'd say. Come on, Warren.
He sure has taken his time.
I'm waiting for you, Warren. I've had Blaze out here on the track for 10 minutes already.
I got something to tell you, Mr. Rogers. Bad news, I'm afraid.
What's the matter?
I'm not riding, Blaze.
What are you talking about?
You heard me. I'm not riding for you today.
But you've got to. You can't let me down just hours before the race. There isn't another jockey available.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Elson's going to enter both of his horses in the race. and I'm going to ride Silver Streak.
Oh, how can you do a thing like this to me?
I'm sorry.
Listen, Warren, if you ride Blaze and Blaze wins, I'll give you... Well, I'll make it worth your while.
Between you and me, Mr. Rogers, Blaze hasn't got a chance. Silver Streak is going to win the race, and I'll be riding him.
Oh, now listen to me, Warren.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rogers. I'm in a hurry now.
Jiminy crickets, that's awful.
But, Dad, what are you going to do?
I don't know, son. I guess I'm through.
I know.
What?
Why don't you ride Blaze, Tom?
Say, that's an idea.
Excuse me, sir, but Mr. Tom is just about the same size as was Warren.
Yes, but he's not a jockey. Why, you couldn't ride in a big race like the handicap, Tom.
Sure I could, Dad.
Yes, he could, Mr. Rogers. He's a good rider.
What? What's this you say?
He rode Splendor and did jumps with him.
Well, Whitey says I'm a natural-born jockey. Honest, he did, Dad.
Whitey? Who's Whitey?
Well, he's the man who has charge of all the horses with the circus.
Really, Mr. Rogers, Tom will surprise you. He can ride keen.
Why don't you let him try to ride the horse now, and if he can ride, well...
Well, I don't know what else to do,
Please
but...
let him try.
Yeah, Dad, let me try. It won't hurt to see if I can ride him.
Well, it certainly would be a lifesaver if you could, Tom.
Can I try?
Well, all right. Go ahead.
Hey, wait a minute. But before you get on that horse, I got something I want to give to you. Was going to turn the trick.
What are you talking about, Ham?
Here, Mr. Tom, you take this lucky rabbit's foot.
What are you rubbing it on your head for?
That's going to make sure it's lucky. You can't go wrong now.
Gee, thanks, Ham. Help me up, Dad.
Okay, up you go. There. Now, take it easy until you get the feel. Are you all right?
Sure. Come on, please.
You'll see how good he can ride.
Well, he sure seems to know what he's doing.
It's the best thing that could happen. I mean that Warren, he done quit on you. Now, Mr. Tom, sure going to win for you. He's going to try hard, and with that rabbit's foot, he can't miss, no, sir.
I hope you're right, Ham.
Ham is never almost at a time, only sometimes.
Just look how nice he rides. Bring him back here.
Oh, but Jerry, I'm really afraid to let Tom ride him.
Don't be afraid. I tell you, he's a good rider.
I wish I was sure of that.
Well, just like Tom told you. Whitey said he was a natural-born jockey.
Should I try him out now?
All right, son, but be careful.
I will. Time us now.
All right. Go ahead anytime.
Get up there, Blaze.
Golly, look at him go. Well, that's faster than he took off when Warren was riding him.
Say, I believe you're right, Jerry.
I do declare, that boy is all right.
Hey, it might work.
What, Mr. Rogers?
I mean, I think Tom might be able to ride him this afternoon.
Sure he can.
Wait now. Let me clock him at the quarter turn. There.
What did he do then?
Let's see. Well, say...
How long did it take him?
Only 23 seconds. Say, that's the best time ever.
I told you Tom could ride.
Oh, looks like you're right, Jerry.
Right, see, that boy is good. He's flying with that horse.
You know he'll try hard to win.
Sure he will. He'll try hard. That's what he'll do.
Say, he'll try harder than Warren would have.
What looked like bad luck has turned to good luck.
Excuse me, sir. Don't forget to get his time at the half mile, sir.
Oh, thanks, Ham. I nearly did forget it. There he goes now.
How long did it take him?
27 seconds. That's not so good. He seems to slow down. He's tiring, Jerry.
Maybe this afternoon when the race is on and all the folks are yelling and hollering, well, it'll keep him going.
Let's hope so, Jerry. But, to be truthful with you...
Yeah?
Well, Jerry, I've given up hope. I'm afraid of Morning Sun and Silver Streak, Mr. Elston's horses. They're fast, Jerry, real fast.
How about Flashaway, my boss's horse?
Oh, yes, Ham. Flashaway is fast, too. No, Jerry, I don't think we have much of a chance.
That boy yours can ride him all right, though, Mr. Rogers.
Well, I'll say he can. And it might make a difference, too.
Oh, it's not the rider this time, Jerry. The folks that have all been kidding me about Blaze are right. He just hasn't got the speed. He's all right for about a half mile, but then he slows down.
Still, there may be a way to overcome that.
Well, can you think of a way, Jerry?
Well, I was thinking that if Tom would hold him back and not let him get away so fast, he might save some of his speed that way.
Oh, but then all the other horses would get so far ahead of him he wouldn't have a chance.
Here it comes. Here he comes, Mr. Rogers, sir.
You did all right, son.
How long did it take us to do the half mile?
Exactly 50 seconds.
Wow. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Sure it is.
Well, it's not so good when you figure you did the quarter mile in 23 seconds, and then it took 27 to do the second quarter. That only means one thing, Tom. Blaze slows down. He tires. The race is too long for him.
Here, Master Tom. I'll help you down, sir.
But I was holding him back. He wanted to go faster.
Holding him back? Tom, why did you do that? You knew I was timing him.
Well, I thought it would be better if I held him back.
But why?
Well, I didn't want him to get used to getting his reins so soon. You see, if I let him out now, well, then he'd think I was going to let him out in the same place when the race was on this afternoon.
Good boy. See, Mr. Rogers, that's just what I said.
Sure. I wanted him to save all his speed for later.
Well, I don't know, Tom. You do as you please. You seem to know how to ride 'em all right.
Don't be so discouraged.
No, Dad. Please don't. I'm going in there this afternoon to win, and I'm gonna win.
Hooray for you. You sure enough ain't going to give up.
Well, you've got the right spirit, son, but I'm afraid spirit alone can't win the race. You'd better take Blaze back to his stable now and cover him up. I've got to go to the officials and tell them I've changed jockeys. I'll be back, though, in a little while.
Okay, Dad. Come on, Jerry.
Right with you. Coming, Ham?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Your dad is sure discouraged, all right.
Well, I think we've got a chance to win. I know for sure Blaze could go faster than he did.
You sure enough going to carry that rabbit foot I gave you, and you're going to be the most surprised boy in the whole world.
Hey, wait a second. I'll open the gate.
We'll do it, won't we, Blaze? Hey, Jerry.
Yeah?
Yesterday when Blaze ran after the fire department, you said you had an idea.
I have.
Well, what is it?
Well, I can't tell you now, but you'll find out after the race is over this afternoon.
Come on, boys. Let's put the horse up and get his blanket on him.
In you go, Blaze.
Here's his blanket.
Let's take his saddle off first.
Okay.
I'll get his bridle off for y'all.
There we are. Now hand me that blanket.
Yep, here it is.
There. Now you just take it easy, Blaze. Take a good rest so you can do your best this afternoon. We just gotta win that race.
Don't you think you best feed him some oats now so he'll be good and strong?
Well, I don't know. Maybe Dad fed him already.
He didn't yesterday before he tried out. Remember? He said he never fed Blaze until after he ran.
Yeah, I guess that's right. Well, go ahead and pour some oats in his bin, Ham.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's just what I'm going to do.
I think you'd better take a rest too, Tom. It's not going to be so easy riding Blaze with all those other horses in the race.
I guess I'll have to keep my eyes open, all right. I have to do a lot of steering.
I'll say you will.
Just look at that horse eat. He was sure enough hungry, all right. My goodness, looks like he didn't have nothing to eat for a long time.
Here comes your dad back again.
So soon?
Uh-huh.
You boys in there with Blaze?
Yeah, here we are, Dad.
Well, you're okayed with the officials, Tom. I'll get you your riding outfit later. Hey, what's going on here?
What's the matter?
Who gave Blaze all those oats?
Well, golly, we thought
Is
that...
something wrong, sir?
Wrong. I'll say there is. We're as good as finished now. Oh, the idea of feeding a racehorse just before the race.
Oh, we didn't think you'd fed him yet.
Oh, I thought you boys knew better than that.
Well, did you feed him already?
Oh, of course I fed him. I fed him real early this morning, and I just gave him a little bit. Oh, that horse hasn't got a chance now. He won't be able to run at all after eating all those oats.
He only had a little bit, sir. Just a little
Yes,
bit.
just a little bit. That little bit is just enough to make him so slow he won't even be able to get around the track and finish the race, let alone win it.
Golly, we're awful sorry, Mr. Rogers.
Oh, it's all right, boys. Oh, I suppose I should have known better than to enter Blaze in the race in the first place.
Aw, cheer up, Mr. Rogers. You might be surprised. You never can tell about a race, you know.
The Jack Benny Program. Quality of product is essential to continuing success.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, so round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
LSMFT, LSMFT, LSMFT.
Remember, year in,
year out.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts.
Independent tobacco experts, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen, men who spend their lives buying, selling, and handling tobacco, can see just who buys what tobacco. And year after year, at auction after auction, they can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco.
Remember, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, and fine tobacco means real deep-down smoking enjoyment for you. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
American.
Program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Bill Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, people often wonder what a comedian does after he finishes his radio program. Well, let's go back to last Sunday afternoon. The Jack Benny program is over, and Jack and Mary are leaving the studio.
Gee, Mary, I liked the show we did tonight, didn't you?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a terrific mystery sketch I did? The Fiddler. Gee. I am the Fiddler. I influence the lives of innocent people. I make them steal, hate, and even murder.
Jack, put away that knife. The program's over.
I'm just cleaning my fingernails. Anyway, I thought it was a wonderful sketch. What are you laughing at?
I'll never forget the look on your face when you opened the door where you thought the murderer was and found the quartet instead.
Oh, yes, them. You know, Mary, those guys are driving me nuts. I wish there was some way I could get rid of them. If I could just say, I've got it.
Oh, no, Jack. Where would you hide the body?
I wasn't thinking of that. Anyway, I got to figure out some way.
Jack, let's stop in the drugstore for a snack.
Well, look, Mary, it's only 5 o'clock. If you'll wait till later, I'll take you out and buy you a full-course dinner.
I'm no gambler. I'll take a sandwich now.
All right, come on.
Here, 2 seats, Jack.
Oh, yeah. What are you going to have, Mary?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, here's something that looks good. A Dunker Special.
A Dunker Special? What's that?
Coffee, donuts, and a rubber glove, 15 cents.
Nah, I don't get that. I had it last time. The glove had a hole in it.
What are you going to have?
Gee, I don't know. Oh, waiter. Waiter.
Yeah.
Oh, him again. Now, let's see.
Waiter, I'll have a Chiss sweet Sam.
She'll have a Chiss sweet sandwich.
Waiter, I'll have a Swiss cheese sandwich.
Yes, ma'am. 1 Swiss cheese sandwich. 1 Swiss cheese.
Well, I see Mr. Kitzel is still working here.
Have you made up your mind yet, musclebound?
Yes, I'll have a chocolate malted milk.
1 chocolate malted milk. Put an egg in it.
Wait a minute. I don't want an egg in it.
Have you looked in the mirror lately?
All right, give me a malted milk with an egg in it.
Fried or scrambled?
Look, I want a malted milk with an egg in it. Just a plain raw egg.
All right. 1 malted milk for a barbarian.
Look, waiter, why is it you always...
Oh, Jack, let it go. You know you always antagonize him.
I do not.
You do, too.
You know, Mary, I'm never going to come in here again if that waiter doesn't stop with
Oh,
all
Mr.
that...
Benny, can I sit here with you and Miss Livingston?
Oh, hello, Dennis.
I thought you went home.
I came in for a sandwich first, and you know what? I just weighed myself.
Oh.
I weigh 140 pounds, stripped.
Stripped?
Yeah, I took the weighing machine into the phone booth.
Dennis.
And when I put in a penny, a little card came out.
What did it say, kid?
It said, put on your pants. The lady wants to use the phone.
Oh, stop being silly.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Thank you.
And here's yours.
Hey, wait a minute. I ordered a malted milk. This is an ice cream soda.
That's not ice cream. That's an egg.
Well, at least you could have broken it. Can't you break an egg?
If I could break an egg, I'd punch you right in the nose.
Oh, you would, eh? Well, let me tell you...
Oh, Jack, sit down. Everybody's looking at you.
Well, all right, but I don't want this malted milk. I'm going to have a cup of coffee, and I don't want this guy waiting on me. Oh, Mr. Kitzel. Mr. Kitzel.
Just a second, please. I'm reading that new book, The Herring and I.
Oh, come here a minute, will you?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kitzel, I always have trouble with this waiter. Will you please take care of me?
What pleasure. What will you have?
A cup of coffee.
Thank you, or schmanke.
Just plain coffee.
In a jiffy.
Thank you.
Well, hello, everybody.
Well, down. Sit down. Have a sandwich or something.
No, thanks, Jack. I just dropped in to weigh myself.
Oh.
Is that the little card you got out of the scale, Don?
Yes.
Let me see it.
Oh, no,
Oh,
Mary.
come on. Let me see it.
Oh, okay, here.
Say, Don, what are you laughing at, Mary? What's the weight on the card, Mary?
It doesn't give any weight. It just says, get off, you're hurting me.
Hey, that's pretty good. Say, Don, as long as you're here, I want to talk to you about that quartet. Now, I'm not...
Well, if it ain't that old gang of mine.
Hello, Phil. Hey, Phil, how'd your show go today?
Dynamite, Jackson, dynamite. And say, you know that gag you called up and gave me yesterday?
Yeah.
It laid there. But I didn't need it. My charming personality made it roll, Jackson. It rolled. Hey, waiter. What'll it be? Give me a Phil Harris special. Okay. 1 ham omelet. Put a wave in it.
That's a good one, you know.
Want anything to drink with it, Mr. Harris? Nothing to drink. I'm on the wagon.
Phil, he means coffee, tea, or milk.
Oh, waiter, I'll have a cup of tea, please.
Do you want cream or lemon with it?
Gee, that sounds good. Give me the cream and lemon and never mind the tea.
Dennis, grow up, will you?
Jack, I'm through with my sandwich.
Okay. Come on, Mary. I'll walk you home. So long, fellas.
Hey, Jackson, what about the check?
You and Dennis can split it. You've both got shows of your own now. Come on, Mary. Rumba, your samba, your conga, Let me see, where's my house? Oh, there it is. I don't know what I'd do without these fog lights on my knees. Hello, Rochester.
Hello, boss. You're home a little later than usual.
Yes. You see, Miss Livingston felt hungry, so I took her to the Macombo.
Did you say Macombo, boss?
Yes. And on our way home, we stopped off for a few dances at Ciro's.
Ciro's?
Yes. And then I thought as long as I took her to the Macombo and Ciro's, it'd be nice.
Boss, you're in the house now and the neighbors can't hear you. How are things at the drugstore?
Rochester, how did you know that I was at the drugstore?
Mr. Billy, you can fool some of the neighbors all of the time and all of the neighbors some of the time, but I ain't a neighbor. I live here.
Oh, I've been to Ciro's, and you know it. Well, it's been a long day, Rochester. I think I'll go up to bed.
Just a minute. I'll strap on my Indian papoose bag.
You don't have to carry me. I'll walk upstairs myself. Now, make my bed, will you, please?
Yes, sir.
I'm going in the library and get a book. Hello, Polly.
Hello.
Did Polly hear Daddy on his program today?
Hello again.
Oh, then you did hear the show. Come on now, Polly. What else did you hear on my program? Come on. What else did you hear?
Hammocks and turnip greens.
That's right. Keep on. Come on, Polly. Come on. Keep going.
That's what I like about.
About what? Come on, Polly. About what?
And that's what I like about.
Oh, never mind. I'll teach you tomorrow. Now, let's see. What book do I want here? This one will do.
The South.
That's right, Polly. That's it. Now, say the whole thing. That's what I like about. Come on, Polly. Say the whole thing. That's what I like about.
That's what I like about the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing. Well, I'm going to bed. Good night, Polly. I don't know. I don't know what's the matter with that bird. Can't keep her mind on things. Every year at this time, she acts the same. Stays that way until the swallows come back to Capistrano. Oh, well, I guess if I had feathers, I'd understand.
Your bed's all ready, boss. Here are your pajamas.
Good.
Why are you going to bed so early?
It's not early. It's 8:30. Anyway, I'm always nervous and upset after the program on Sundays. That quartet that sings a commercial drives me crazy.
But, boss, I think it's nice to have music with a commercial.
Rochester, all Wilson has to say is, LSMFT, LSMFT, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. That's all he has to say, and people will walk down to the nearest store and buy Lucky Strike.
I know, but if you do it with music, they'll dance down.
Rochester, I'm Jack Benny, not Arthur Murray. I'm going to bed. Please turn out the light.
Okay. Good night, boss.
Good night. Oh, Rochester.
Yes, boss.
Blow out my jack-o'-lantern. It scares me.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Good night. Oh, gee. Certainly glad I went to bed early. I don't feel like reading either. Maybe I'll listen to the radio a little while.
And that concludes another session of our very popular quiz program. Take it and go already. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the following is a Spot announcement. Thank you, Spot.
What was that?
And now, in answer to many requests, lovely Patricia Duvall will sing that beautiful ballad, I'll See You in My Dreams.
Gee, I love that number.
I'll see you in my dreams. Hold you in my dreams.
Must be something wrong with my radio. Must be the radio.
I feel the thrill of your touch. Oh, you're ever lovely.
People requested that? What a voice. Isn't that awful? That's a nice quartet. Why can't my quartet sing as good as that? Yeah, they sing good in this quartet. Who are you? What are you doing in my bedroom?
We just came out of your radio. We're the quartet called the Sportsmen.
Say, you fellas are wonderful. Gee, I wish you were my quartet.
We are.
You mean you're the same fellas who do my commercials? Say, you are the guys. Well, let me ask you something. Why don't you sing for me like you did on that program I just heard?
Because you antagonize us.
I do not.
You do too.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute, you fellas. This is some trick. You're not the same guys who do my commercials.
Oh, we're not, eh?
L-S-L-S-M-S-T, la 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 la, L-S-L-S-M-S-I, la 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 la.
Stop it! Stop it! You guys think you're so smart. Well, this is the last time I'm going to have trouble with you.
Put down that gun.
It's too late now. Take that. Gee, tenors are hard to kill. Well, I guess that'll hold you for a while. Now, come on, you guys. Come on, get out of here. Get out. Wait a minute. They're dead. I killed them. But I didn't mean to.
Order in the court. Order in the court.
In the court? What am I doing here?
The next trial will be the case of Jack Benny versus the people of Anaheim, Azusa, and my darling Clementine.
Wait a minute. What am I charged with?
You are charged with killing your quartet.
That's a crime?
Yes, and not only murder, but the court attendant will read the following charges.
On the night of September 30th, Jack Benny, willfully and with malice aforethought, did... You'll be sorry.
I did all that?
Yes, and anything you say will be used against you.
But look...
You better let your lawyer do all your talking.
But I haven't got a lawyer. This is a fine how do you do.
How do you do?
You, Dennis. Dennis, you're my lawyer?
Silly boy.
Dennis, you... My lawyer.
Certainly. Don't you remember? You hired me for $35 a week.
But, kid, I only hired you to sing on my radio program.
Yes, but in the fine print of my contract, it says that I have to be your lawyer when I'm not mowing your lawn.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I remember I hired you because you weighed 140 pounds, stripped.
Everyone rise. Here comes His Honor, the judge.
What is this? I don't need any trial. When the judge hears my story, he'll know that I'm innocent. He has such a kind, intelligent face. Oh, Judge?
Yes.
Oh. Are you the judge?
Yes. And let's get on with the execution.
You mean trial?
I know how it's going to end.
Judge, you mean I'm going to be Dennis? Dennis, you're my lawyer. Say something.
To each his own.
What?
It's either that or plead guilty.
Gee, I'm glad you thought of that.
Hiya, Jackson.
Phil, what are you doing here?
I'm the district attorney, and I ain't going to rest until you're executed.
Phil, you're the district attorney. You've got 2 shows now. Who appointed you district attorney?
Petrello.
Oh, but Phil, you're not a lawyer. You're a musician. I know you're a musician.
Oh, trying to plead insanity, huh?
But I'm not. I'm not trying to plead insanity.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this trial to bring you a spot announcement. Thank you, Fido.
Fido? What happened to Spot? Oh, well, he was probably just a summer replacement. Anyway, I know I'll get out of this mess. I know I will.
Sure you will, Jack. Don't worry.
Don, where'd you come from?
Eastern Columbia, Broadway at night.
What?
I'm the big Cluck.
That's Clark.
And now the prosecution calls its surprise witness, Miss Mary Livingston.
Make room. Hello, Philzy. Hiya, Judge.
Miss Livingston, please take your usual seat.
No, Judge, I might spoil the crease in your pants. I better sit in the witness chair.
Gee, and they're nylons, too. And look at those fog lights on her knees with dimples on them.
Miss Livingston, before you're allowed to testify, the bailiff will swear you in. Go ahead, Faye.
Miss Livingston, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, with pickle in the middle and the mustard on top?
No, with the mustard in the middle and the bananas in the refrigerator.
Gee, is that the way they swear in witnesses today?
Now, Miss Livingston, as the prosecuting attorney, I want to ask you, have you ever been out on a date with the defendant, Jack Benny?
Yes, several times.
Did Mr. Benny ever attempt to kiss you?
Sure. Mr. Benny is a caveman type of lover.
Caveman type of lover?
Yes, one kiss and he caves in.
I do not.
Now, Miss Livingston, concerning the alleged murder of this quartet, do you...
Objection overruled.
But nobody objected.
I know, and it was getting awfully dull.
Dennis, the judge is against me. I'm afraid, I tell you.
Order in the court. The 497th day of the trial of Jack Benny is on.
Gee, I'm so tired.
Now, miss, you're a brand new witness. Please tell us all about yourself.
I am a telephone operator. My name is Gertrude Gearshift. I work at NBC. Wednesday is my night off, if you know what I mean.
Now, when you work at NBC, you hear all the telephone conversations that come through, don't you?
No, there are other switchboards. I'm on the first, Mabel's on the second, and Greenberg's on third.
Greenberg? How did he get in here?
Now, Miss Gearshift, you asked to be brought here as a witness. Tell the court in your own words exactly what you said to me in my office this afternoon.
I said, stop, you're smearing my lipstick.
No.
I said that too, but you wouldn't listen.
Dennis, I don't like the way the trial is going. I tell you, I'm worried.
Now, Mr. Benny, will you please take the stand?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Benny, what is your occupation?
I am the fiddler. I play by night. I influence.
Order in the court. The jury will now give their verdict.
So fast?
Foreman, have you reached a verdict? Good. What is your decision?
We find the defendant, Jack Benny, guilty of...
Guilty of what?
the whole thing.
But this is ridiculous. I'm innocent, I tell you. I never was responsible for anyone's death in my entire life.
What about the gas man?
Rochester, stand aside. Your Honor, please listen to me. Your Honor, I admit that I killed my quartet. But it was justifiable homicide. They were making me a nervous wreck. They were driving me crazy. I was paying them $500 a week. They never sang good for me. They always sang beautifully on other programs. So pretty with such beautiful harmony. I remember because I heard them the night I killed them. I was lying in bed and I turned on my radio. Asleep. Well, what do you know? I forgot to turn off the radio.
We'll be back in just a minute, but first here is my good friend, L.A. Speed Race.
Remember this all-important fact. It takes fine tobacco to make a fine cigarette. And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
Mr. John L. Pinnock, independent tobacco warehouseman of Reedsville, North Carolina, has operated tobacco warehouses for 28 years. He said,
"At all the auctions I've attended, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy tobacco that just can't be beat when it comes to smoking enjoyment. That's why for 28 years I've been a Lucky Strike smoker."
Year after year, at auction after auction, independent tobacco experts like Mr. Pinnock can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. Fine, light, naturally mild tobacco. Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And fine tobacco means real deep-down smoking enjoyment for you.
LSMFT, LSMFT, LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
The famous tobacco auctioneers heard on tonight's programmer, Mr. L.A. Speed Riggs of Goldsboro, North Carolina. And Mr. F.E. Boone of Lexington, Kentucky.
At 59 out of 59, American.
Basil Rysdale speaking for Lucky Strike, the cigarette of fine tobacco.
Gee, that was one of the silliest dreams I ever had. Oh, well, I'll get back to sleep again.
Darn that Rochester, I told him to blow out my jack-o'-lantern.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Good health to all from Rexall. It's Sunday, time for the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, presented by the makers of Rexall Drug Products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist, taking a little time from behind the prescription counter this Sunday evening to speak for all 10,000 of us. The 10,000 independent druggists who have added the word Rexall to our own store names. You can always tell us by the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows. The sign means that we carry the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company. They range all the way from aspirin to penicillin, and they're as fine and pure and dependable as science can make them. We independent druggists recommend them to our customers because we know you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. And now your Rexall family druggist brings you the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show. Written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet, with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Robert North, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Walter Sharp and his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. Mr. Scott of the Rexall Company is having a lawn party at his home this afternoon. Many distinguished persons have been invited, and as we look in, we find Mr. and Mrs. Scott going over their guest list.
Grace, let's check the guest list once more and make sure that all the important people have been invited.
Very well, dear. This is the list. Mr. and Mrs. Phil Harris, Mr. Frank Remley,
No, dear. Not the names I crossed out. Just read the ones we invited.
Darling, I already invited the Harrises. I think she's a charming woman.
So do I. It's that Tennessee boll weevil I object to. Must we have him?
Well, I think we should. After all, he's the star of your radio program, and you're the one who hired him.
I know. I know.
You signed him for 2 years, and he still has another year to go.
Stop pouring salt on my wound. Ever since Harris has been on the air for Rexall, I've been a nervous wreck. I've got pains all over. My right arm is muscle-bound.
Darling, I don't follow you. What's Phil Harris got to do with your arm being muscle-bound?
I'll explain. Because of me, Phil Harris is on the air every Sunday night. So every Monday morning I have to write letters to 10,000 independent druggists apologizing. Now, Grace, please tell me you didn't invite that Frank Remley character.
Well, I called him at his office, but I couldn't reach him.
His office?
Yes, dear. Mr. Harris gave me the number, but Mr. Remley was too busy to talk to me.
Remley was too busy to talk to you?
Yes, he was watching a television show, and the bartender wouldn't disturb him.
Well, thank goodness you couldn't reach him. Without Remley, I can stand Harris for an hour or so.
Now, I'm afraid you'll have to tolerate him a little longer than that. Mrs. Harris is lending us some garden chairs, and he's bringing them over this morning. I told him he might as well stay on for the party.
Oh, goody. A whole day with old Wavy Wig.
Phil, will you please hurry up? We have to get those chairs over to the Scotts this morning.
All right, honey. Wait till I finish my milk. I've only got about 3 fingers left to drink.
Phil, do you suppose the Scotts invited us just because they needed chairs?
Oh, don't be silly. We were probably the first ones on their guest list.
Daddy, can we go to this party?
No, I'm sorry, kids, but this is just for grown-ups. You see, they're going to have a lot of important people there.
Daddy, are you important?
Am I important? Alice, you got to have a talk with this child. You've got to be straightened out on a few things. Tell her how important I am. Go on, tell her all the things that make me important.
No, you'd better tell her. You've got them memorized. Who else has been invited to the Scotch party, Phil?
I don't know, but you can bet that only the best people in town are going to be there.
Oh, you weren't invited, eh, Philip?
Well, looky, here comes Snooky. For your information, I was invited, Willie. I got a ResVip.
A ResVip?
Yes, RSVP, ResVip. Scotty insisted that Alice and me come to the party.
He insisted, indeed. He wanted Alice, and he felt that he was forced to ask you. He's probably hoping that you won't show up.
William, why are you always so terse with me? I've done nothing to warrant your caustic diatribe.
Phil, what was that?
Just a little something Ronald Coleman laid on me.
Anyway, Phil, was Frankie invited?
No, he wasn't, honey, and I can't understand why.
Well, Mr. Scott didn't invite Francis because he doesn't want him, and I hope he has sense enough to stay away.
Well, don't worry about Remley. He don't go to parties where he's not wanted. He's a very sensitive guy. And he never... Come in. Oh, hello, Frankie.
Hiya, Curly. How do you like this new suit I bought for Scott's party? Hi, Alice.
Well, if it isn't little old sensitive Frankie.
Hey, Remley, I'm glad you're going. Scott sent you an invitation, huh?
No. What time are we supposed to be at the party?
Francis, surely you're not serious about going to the party.
Why not?
Mr. Scott didn't ask you because he doesn't like you.
Well, I don't like him either, but I'm not going to be petty about it.
Now, wait a minute, Frankie. You can't go someplace where you're not wanted.
Now, look, why don't we do this, Phil? Let Frankie come with us when we take the chairs to Mr. Scott. And when he sees Frankie, he'll probably invite him, and everything will be all right. If Mr. Scott doesn't want him, he can always leave.
Sure, we'll never miss the old sourpuss. Hey, we ought to have a great time at this party.
Sure we will. Hey, do you think they might ask me to sing?
If they're smart, they won't.
Now, just a moment, Mr. Remley. I'm tired of having you make fun of my voice. I can sing, and I'm going to show you.
Oh, Phil, not now. We have to get the chairs over.
They can wait. I'm going to prove once and for all that I have a great voice. And I'm going to prove it right now.
Go ahead. When you get through singing, call me. I'll be inside listening to the frost warnings.
Young Johnny Jones, he had a cute little boat. And all the girlies he would take for a float. He had girlies on the shore, cute little peaches by the score. But Johnny was a Weisenheimer, you know. His steady girl was Flo. And every Sunday afternoon, she'd jump in his boat and they would spoon. And then he'd row, row, row. Way up that river he would row, row, row. A hug he'd give her, then he'd kiss her now and then. She would tell him when. They'd fool around, and then they'd kiss again, and then they'd row, row, row. Way up that river they would row, oh, 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 oh. Then he'd drop both his oars, take a few more encores, and then they'd row, row, row. In Johnny's boat he had a cute little seat, and all the kisses that he stole were so sweet. And he knew just how to row. He was a rowing Romeo. He had an island where the trees were so grand. He knew just where to land. Then tales of love he'd tell to Flo until it was time for them to go. And then he'd row, row, row. Right up that river he would row so slow. A hug he'd give her, then he'd kiss her now and then. She would tell him when. He'd fool around, and he'd kiss again. Way up that river he would row, just he and Flo. With her head on his chest, he'd take a few measures rest, and then he'd row, 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 just he and Florence. Row, row, row right into heaven. Row, row. He had no Johnson motors, so Johnny and Flo would row, row, row. How'd you like that, Frankie?
It's pretty cold in Pomona.
Ah, what do you know? How'd you like it, Alice?
They're firing the smudge pots in Redlands. Oh, come on, Phil. You and Frankie put the chairs in the car and we'll get over to the Scotts, huh? Phil, Mrs. Scott's car is in the driveway, so you'd better park out front here.
Okay, I'll park right here. All right, come on, Frankie. Give me a hand with these chairs.
Hello there.
Oh, hiya, Chief.
Hello, Mr. Scott.
It's good to see you. I must say you look charming. You know, you get younger and prettier every day. How do you do it?
I owe it all to clean living.
Yes.
Someday I might make my secret of eternal youth available to the public.
Oh, what a magnanimous gesture. Mrs. Harris, I'm glad you and your man of tomorrow could come over early.
As long as I'm here early, I'll go in and see if I can help Mrs. Scott.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Harris, can I help you take the chairs out of the car?
No, I brought someone along to help me.
Yeah, I'm here, Scotty.
Oh. I guess we all have days when we should have stood in bed.
I hear you're having a party today, Scotty. I said I hear you're having a party today.
Maybe if I don't answer, you'll go away.
I didn't get an invitation in the mail. Could it be because it was misaddressed? Or maybe you didn't put a stamp on it. I can't imagine why I didn't get it.
Could it be because I didn't send you one?
You and your wild guesses.
Mr. Scott, I brought Frankie along because I knew you'd want him here. After all, what would a party be like without Francis?
I don't know, but we're going to find out.
Mr. Scott, let's not beat around the bush. If you don't want me, say so.
I don't want you.
Let's go around the bush once more. There must be a solution to this problem.
There is. You can go home.
No, that don't appeal to me.
Remley, I'm warning you. If you insist on staying here, I'm leaving.
That's the most sensible suggestion you made yet.
Remley, if you don't get out of here, I'll call...
Now, wait a minute, fellas. Wait a minute. Let's not fight. Now, can't we settle this thing amicably? Mr. Scott, I think it would be nice if you, the boss, invited Frankie the employee to your social gathering. It would prove something.
What?
Well, it would show the world that labor and capital can travel hand in hand to an ultimate utopia.
Look,
Just because our ideologies are different don't mean we can't live in the same world together.
But let's foster brotherly love. The spirit of true Americanism is at stake here.
Yeah, remember the Maine. And remember the Alamo.
Let's not forget what they fought for at Approprata Protomax. That this is the land of the free.
Where all men are created equal.
From every mountain side, let freedom.
Will you two stop this? Oh, I can't stand any more of this. Harris, would you mind carrying the chairs down in back of the house? We're holding the garden party around the swimming pool.
Okay, Mr.
Don't worry, we'll take care of everything.
Remley, as long as you insist on staying, you will have to excuse me. I have to go down the street to see somebody. Who? My lawyer. I want to know if I can get an injunction against you. Goodbye.
Good old Scotty. I knew he'd invite me.
Well, come on, Frankie. Let's carry these chairs down to the pool.
Okay. Hey, Curly, the pool's at the bottom of that steep hill. With all these chairs, we'll have to make a few trips. Why don't we just drive your car now?
Yeah, that's a good idea. We can just... Yeah, but wait a minute. We'd have to move Scott's car out of the driveway. I'll tell you, look, Remley, you drive his car down to the garage, and I'll go get mine.
Okay. Hey, Curly, I can't drive Scott's car down. There's no key in it.
Remley, you don't need a key. It's on a hill. You can coast it down. Just release the handbrake.
Oh. There she goes, Curly. Now what do I do?
Oh, no, Remley, you were supposed to get in the car.
You just told me to release the handbrake. You didn't tell me to get in.
Well, look at the way it's rolling down. Remley, do something. Stop it.
Stop it, he said. Hey, Paar! Come back here!
Remley! Now, come on, we got to try and catch you.
Hey, look, it's heading for the fence. That ought to stop it. It didn't. Cheap lumber, I guess.
Remley, it's heading for the pool.
Well, that ought to stop it. It can't possibly go any further. Told you that would stop it.
Right into the water.
Don't worry. It's a new Cadillac. With those fishtails, it should be able to swim.
Remley, it ain't swimming. It's sitting on the bottom. I ought to take you with a
Temper. Let's not get excited. We got a simple problem. All we got to do is figure how to get a Cadillac out of a swimming pool.
That's all we got to figure.
That's all.
All we got to do is to write General Motors and ask them how to salvage one of their convertible submarines. Frankie, we got to get it out of there before somebody discovers it. If we ever get caught with that thing...
Oh, Phil!
Uh-oh, here comes Hank, the night watchman.
Phil, what was that crash I heard out here? It sounded like... Phil! There's a car in the pool.
Carpool? Don't be silly, honey. Well, they haven't had carpool since the war ended.
Why, it's Mr. Scott's Cadillac. How did it get in there?
He's a very sloppy parker.
Yeah, you see, he parks his car in the pool every night. And that way, when he leaves in the morning, it's already washed.
Cut it out. Did you fellas do this?
Well, we might as well tell her the truth, Remley.
Yeah, I guess we'll have
All right. How did it happen?
Well, Mr. Scott left his car standing out in the hot sun.
I see. And it got overheated, so it went in for a dip.
Oh, Alice, do you expect us to believe that?
Yeah, look, honey, you're going to have to come up with a better excuse than that. Now, just how did you get that car in the pool?
Well, I was talking to Mrs. Scott, and... Wait a minute, I didn't do anything. Oh, fellas, I don't know how you got it in there, but you'll have to get it out before Mr. and Mrs. Scott see it.
How?
Well, use our car and tow it out.
So, yeah, that's it. Now, look, honey, you go in and keep Mrs. Scott occupied so she doesn't see what we're doing.
All right, but make sure you get that car out. Mother wanted me to marry a lawyer. Father wanted me to marry a doctor. But did I listen? Nah. I had to be a wise guy and wind up with a trap drummer.
Well, I had my own ratchet.
Come on, Ratch, let's get your car.
Remley, look, I've been thinking about something.
What?
My car's too light to pull that heavy car out of that pool.
Yeah, you might. Wait a minute, look. Scott's got another car in the garage, a big Lincoln.
Lincoln?
Yeah, that ought to be able to pull it out.
Yeah. Now, look, I'll get a heavy chain out of my trunk, and you back the Lincoln up to the pool. Huh, Remley? Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
Back it, I said up to it, not in it. Well, we got the chain around the rear axle of the Lincoln. All we got to do now is put the other end of the chain around the bumper of the Cadillac.
That's all. But which one of us is going to dive down and attach it?
That's simple. You.
It ain't that simple. I ain't going. Why'd you do it?
I can't swim.
Then you're the guy to do it. You'll get down to the bottom faster.
Now, look, Remley, somebody's got to go down there and
back somebody else. I ain't no fish. I ain't...
What are you two fellas doing here?
Well, if it ain't Julius, the Barracuda.
Little carp face himself.
What are you guys up to? Why you got that Lincoln on the lawn?
Because we got a Cadillac in the pool.
Oh, that's different. You got a what to wear?
We got a Cadillac in the pool.
Oh, I gotta report these guys to the juvenile authorities. They
They just do these things to derange my immature brain.
He's telling you that we got a car in the pool. Now, if you don't believe it, look for yourself.
Yeah, bend over the pool and look straight down.
Let me see. Hey, you guys ain't kidding.
Curly's bending over.
So he is. Shall we conga?
Let's.
1, 2, 3, kick!
Look at that. He went right straight down.
Yeah. Look at him down there. Hey, Remley.
Huh?
Quick, while he's still on the bottom, throw him the chain.
Yeah. Oh, look, he's surfacing.
Man the harpoon.
Right.
What are you, a couple of wise guys or something?
Julius, as long as you're swimming, do us a favor. Dive down to the bottom and attach the chain to that bumper.
Go bang your heads together. I'm getting out of this pool.
Not until you attach this chain.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm climbing out of here. Quit stomping on my little fingers.
Will you put the chain on?
All right, you monsters. Probably safer down there anyway. Here I go.
Hey, Remley.
Huh?
How long do you think it'll take him?
Oh, we'll be down there about 10 minutes.
Can a person stay underwater that long?
Sure.
And stay alive?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Hey, look, he's coming up already.
Oh.
Well, I got it attached.
Thanks, kid. You can come on out now.
I'll get even with you. One of these days, if I stay away from you guys, I'm going to grow up. And when I do...
Oh, stop beeping, will you? Take the water out of your head. Look, Julius, Frankie and me are going to get the Lincoln and start pulling that Cadillac up. Now, you stay here and let us know how it's coming out.
Okay. Fellas, the best way to do this is leave a little slack in the chain and then start with a sudden jerk.
Wait a minute. Listen, kid, don't tell me how to do this. I'm a grown man, and I know more about it than you do. Now, come on, Frankie, get in.
Yeah. How are you going to do this, Curly?
I got it all figured out. Best thing to do is to leave a little slack in the chain and then start with a sudden jerk. Let her go. Hang on, here we go. Right. Hey, Remley, we must be getting it out. We're moving.
Yeah.
She's awful heavy, though. It's dragging.
Hey, Curly, isn't the lawn level here?
Yeah.
Why is the car pointing uphill?
Hey, fellas!
What?
You better come back here and get your rear wheels.
Rear wheel? Oh, Frankie, what did you do? Let's get out and look. Oh, Remley, look, we ripped out the whole rear end out of this car.
You did it again, didn't you?
Let's keep it plural. We did it. Now, what are we going to tell Mr. Scott?
Don't tell him anything. Maybe he won't notice it.
He won't notice it. How can he help it? Look at the way it's squatting. What are you laughing at?
Mr. Scott's got the only Lincoln that starts from a crouching position.
Now, read it, will you, kid? Get going. We're in enough trouble. Uh-oh, Remley. Here comes Scotty. He's going to murder us when he
Remley, I just saw my lawyer, and he said I can't do a thing. So I fired him. But I've got half a mind.
You got half a Lincoln, too.
What are you talking? Oh, no! What happened to my car?
Is something wrong with it?
Something wrong? Half of it's here and half of it's down there. Look at it.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like a dachshund, doesn't it?
Oh, my beautiful $6,000 special Lincoln cut in half. What can I do with it?
Do what the Santa Fe does with the Chief. Run it in 2 sections.
Oh, you two. I'll take care of you later. Right now, I'd better tow this out of the driveway before my guests come. I'll get my Cadillac. My Cadillac. It was over in the group. Where's my Cadillac?
Oh, that's in the pool.
Oh, in the pool. In the pool! Oh, no! No! My Cadillac in the pool! My Lincoln torn in half! Both my cars ruined! What am I going to do?
Sell your house and move near a bus stop.
You're responsible for this. I'm in no condition to have a party, but at least I'll have the pleasure of taking care of you two. Come here.
He's not having a party. We might as well go, Curly.
Yeah, ain't no sense in hanging around so long, Scotty.
Come back here.
Come. No. You didn't want me before, so I'm not going to stay now.
And if Frankie can't stay, I'm not going to stay either.
All I want to do is get my hands off you.
Curly's gaining on us.
If I catch you, I'll tear you limb from limb. I'll rip you apart. I'll throttle you with my bare hands.
Full speed ahead, Remley.
Come back, you coward!
Alice and Phil will be back in just a moment. But first, here's your Rexall Family Druggist.
Everyone knows that vitamins are necessary to life, but a lot of people don't know how scientists measure these mysterious substances to be sure they're present in vitamin products in the proper quantity. The other day I told a customer that in Rexall's laboratory, certain vitamins are measured by seeing how brightly they glow.
Glow? Well, what on earth do you mean?
Just what I said, ma'am. Rexall's men of science can check small amounts of certain vitamins in a product by determining how much light they give off.
Look, I know Rexall scientists are good, but this you've got to explain.
Well, here's how it's done. First, the vitamin is treated with a chemical that makes it fluorescent under ultraviolet light. In other words, it glows.
I'm with you so far.
Then it's placed in a machine where a photoelectric cell, you might call it an electric eye, receives this glow and transmits it in terms of electricity to a special kind of meter. The amount of electricity registered on this meter is the exact measurement or weight of the vitamin. Believe it or not, this method can measure vitamin substances down to 1 gamma. And that, ma'am, is 1/28 of an ounce.
No wonder you never hesitate to recommend Rexall drug products.
Me and 10,000 other independent Rexall druggists, ma'am. And it's only natural. You see, we know that all of the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company get the same kind of up-to-the-minute testing, the same patient painstaking care. That's why in every store with the orange and blue Rexall sign on the windows, there's a family druggist who will tell you you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall.
Well, Phil, you and Frankie really messed up Mr. Scott's party yesterday. I wonder what he's going to do with his 2 cars.
He's trying to sell them. He's got an ad here in the paper. Look, it says, for sale cheap, a disjointed Lincoln and a waterlogged Cadillac. Hey, do you think he's mad at me and Frankie?
I think so, dear. Look what it says underneath. For sale, even cheaper. 1 left-handed guitar player and a curly-headed band leader.
He can't sell Remley. He belongs to me.
This program was produced and directed by Paul Phillips. Included in today's cast were Lois Corbett and Gail Gordon. The part of Frankie Remley was played by Elliot Lewis, and Julius was played by Walter Tetley. Alice Faye appeared through the courtesy of 20th Century Fox. This is Bill Foreman wishing good health to all from Rexall.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
The Jack Paar Program, presented by Lucky Strike.
American.
Fine tobacco is what counts in the cigarette. And
LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, year after year.
LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
American.
at Lucky Strike presents the Jack Paar program with Trudy Irwin, Jerry Fielding in the orchestra, yours truly, High Aberback, and starring America's new young humorist, Jack Paar, with a special guest tonight, Jack Benny.
Thank you very much. This is Jack Paar. Hello, and a special note to the F.E. Boone Fan Club in Lexington, Kentucky. Don't be impatient. F.E. will be back in 11 minutes. Well, Hollywood is all excited because Margaret Truman is giving a concert here next week. They say her father taught her to sing the scale like this. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, vito. Another interesting item from Hollywood this week is that a famous actress is going to remarry her first husband. It must be his turn again. Another actor got confused this week and he proposed to his own wife. This confused her so much that she accepted him. Now they have to get a divorce so they can go through with it.
Jack, aren't you going to say anything about Great Britain placing a 75% tax on American films?
Yes, I've been worrying about that. So I've invited to the studio today a typical British moviegoer who's in this country on a special mission. He's been brought here to breathe on C. Aubrey Smith's monocle. His is the only breath containing Windex. Good evening, sir. Your name?
J. Arthur Faversham III. My father, you see, was J. Arthur Faversham II.
Mm-hmm. Who, may I ask, was J. Arthur Faversham I?
My mother. She passed away several months ago. It was the Prime Minister's fault.
The Prime Minister's fault?
Yes, you see, he was addressing the Empire on the wireless, and when he concluded, he said, "Chin up, everybody." That was fatal to Mother.
But why?
She was under the sink at the time.
I'm terribly sorry.
No matter. The drain is open again.
I do admire the way you British carry on. Tell me, will you miss American pictures?
Well, I don't care much for your pictures, but dash it all, I hope you continue to send that Lend-Lease popcorn.
If things are so difficult over there in England, why don't you all move to California?
Egad, we have the very same idea. In fact, before I left home, the Prime Minister was putting a giant propeller on one end of England. We're pulling up anchor.
But what if you can't squeeze the island through the Panama Canal?
Heavens to Bevan, sir, we'll force it through.
In that case, there will always be a long, thin England. In the absence of Lily Pons and Andre Castellanos' orchestra, who are not here much anyway, we turn to our young musical stars, Trudy Irwin and Jerry Fielding. Jerry's the one with the long hair. Trudy is the girl that she has to be a girl because, you see, all her clothes are made that way. And now a hush comes over the audience. The spotlight falls on Trudy Irwin. She gets up, brushes herself off, and sings Just One of Those Things.
It was just one of those things, just one of those crazy flings, one of those bells that now and then ring, just one of those things. It was just one of those nights, just one of those fabulous flights, a trip to the moon on gossamer wings, just one of those things. If we'd thought a bit of the end of it when we started painting the town, we'd have been aware that our love affair was too hot not to cool down. So goodbye, dear, and amen. was great fun, but it was just one of those things. Of the end of it when we started painting the town, we'd have been aware that our love affair was too hot not to cool down. So goodbye, dear, and amen. Here's hoping we'll meet once again. It was great fun, but it was just one of those things.
Little-known people who mean absolutely nothing.
Friends, the world is full of little-known people. Perhaps you haven't given it much thought. Do you realize how little-known some people are? For instance, there's the man who reads the gas meters of the man who reads the gas meters. Another little-known is George, the third Smith brother, who was later cut off without a drop. Another anonymous little man is Rudolph R. Rudolph, who hopped around the world in 734 days. No plane, he just hopped. Tonight we have with us someone of this type, a girl, or I should say a lady tree surgeon, Mrs. John W. Grommel. It is Mrs. Grommel, isn't it?
Yes, but I just got a divorce.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't...
My husband tried to get something on me. He hired a private eye.
Well, I think we...
I shot it out.
That's all very interesting, Mrs. Grommel, but we'd like to hear about your career as a tree surgeon. How did you happen to take up that work?
Well, I kind of inherited it. My first husband was a tree surgeon. He got killed by a falling patient.
That was unfortunate, wasn't it?
Well, that's nothing. My second husband was killed by a falling tree. My third husband was killed by a falling tree, and so was my fourth husband. But my fifth husband died natural. He died in bed.
He did?
Yes, a tree fell on him.
A bad case of lumber in his slumber, huh? Tell me, Mrs. Grommel, I suppose being a tree surgeon requires a large amount of education.
Oh, yes. After leaving grammar school.
Go on.
That's all. Of course, we have 2 weeks of pre-med, then 1 week of med. Oh, I'll never forget the day I graduated a full-fledged tree surgeon. My, I was proud when the dean handed me my diploma and a pair of bloomers.
Did your training as a tree surgeon end then?
Oh, no, I interned at Berry Wood. You know, but I sometimes wonder if it's worth it. I'm just worn out today. I was up all night delivering an avocado.
Oh, boy or girl?
Did you ever see an avocado?
Mrs. Grommel, you've done wonderful things with trees. I understand you were the first one to put bath mats under weeping willows.
Well, thank you. But the case that I'm most famous for in my own little-known way is the case that I like to call the case of the giant redwood.
Up in Sequoia National Forest, huh?
Yes. You've seen the enormous tree with the highway running right through the middle of the tree?
Yes, I think we all have. Did you perform an operation on that tree?
Yes, a very delicate operation. I had to use 14 pounds of Jergens lotion. It was a removal operation.
You used 14 pounds of Jergens lotion?
Yes, I had to soften up 2 Buicks.
This has certainly been an interesting discussion, Mrs. Grommel. You must come back next summer. Is there some place we can contact you?
Oh, yes, I'm doing a local job now, a plastic surgery over in Griffith Park.
Plastic surgery on a tree?
Oh, yes, on lots of trees. I'm removing the penknife marks. You know, almost every tree in Griffith Park has a heart with an arrow through it, and Joe loves Mabel, or Joe loves Gertrude, or Joe loves Imogene, or Joe loves Mary, Joe loves Ruthie, Joe loves Toots, Joe wins. Anyway, I expect to be in Griffith Park for a long time, for months and months.
You mean the work will take that long?
No, I just met Joe.
Thank you, and good night.
Lucky Strike presents The Man Who Knows, the independent tobacco expert who knows from his own experience at the auctions what kind of tobacco is bought by the makers of Lucky Strike. Lucky Strike presents The Man Who Knows, the tobacco buyer.
Mr. Fred Evans of Danville, Virginia, has bought tobacco leaf at more than 3,000 different tobacco auctions. Recently, he stated,
Year after year, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy fine quality leaf. That fine, ripe, mellow tobacco you can't beat for top smoking quality. Smoked Lucky's myself for 19 years.
Yes, the man who knows. Experts like Mr. Evans can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. Remember, LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, and fine tobacco means real, deep-down smoking enjoyment for you. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
Friends, as you know, I am a summer replacement. A summer replacement is a fellow who broadcasts during the hot weather to give the other actors time to count the money they've made all winter. Frankly, I'm a little worried because my brief summer career is coming to an end. Radio's getting ready for the winter again. Edgar Bergen is repainting Charlie McCarthy. Fibber McGee is waxing Harlow Wilcox. And Phil Harris has switched to antifreeze with an olive.
Well, look, I'm not trying to worry you, Jack, but let's consider who's going to replace us. Well, we've done good shows. We're not failures. How can you be a failure? You're only 29.
Hi, we won't be failures for another 10 years yet. But that's radio. The summer's running out and our leaves are getting brown. Think how I feel. I thought I was a success. I have everything a young man wants. Fame, fortune, suede shoes.
But, Jack...
Let it go. Be optimistic, you know.
Jack, who's going to replace us? Lum and Abner have had their chance.
It's cruel, Hi, I know, but there's one good sign. Amateur hours are coming back. Fresh new talent will arise. Tonight we're going to give 3 young hopefuls a chance. The winner will be our winter replacement. Who knows? We may discover a new Phil Baker.
Oh, that's just grand. Well, Jack, here is our first discovery. Step this way, miss.
Good evening, miss. Your name is Griselda Furpo. Are you here to audition for our winter replacement?
Would I be here if this was Inner Sanctum?
Well, come to think of it, that veil does look a little like a cobweb. I presume you've had some experience in show business.
Certainly. I was with a USO troupe in Japan.
Japan? How long were you there?
Until the Americans arrived. It so happens I'm a singing midget.
Aren't you a little tall for a midget?
I'm standing on my sister.
Well, if you don't mind, you're not very attractive.
I don't mind. My sister's on top this week.
Well, what are you going to do for us tonight?
Well, if my sister Tangerine will jump down and go to the piano, I'll sing. Hey, Tangerine, jump already. Arpeggio, please. Heartache, heartache, my love and you meant only heartache. Your kiss was such a sacred thing to me. I can't believe it's just a burning memory. Heartache, heartache, what does it matter how my heart breaks? I should be happy with someone new. But my heart aches for you, a Ricky Ticky. My heart aches for you.
Thank you, Furpo sisters. Stand by until the end of the program when the audience applause will decide the winner. Our second contestant in our talent search is a man here wearing the long black coat with a bird cage in his hand. Good evening, sir. What is your name?
Bonsoir, mon ami. My name is Monsieur Rudy Lapé, the magician.
You're French, aren't you?
Allons, enfants de la patrie, le jour de gloire est arrivé. English translation, oui.
Well, we're glad to have you here in America. Incidentally, is it true what they say about those French bathing suits? I mean, what are they like?
Oh, they are very simple. You just take 2 handkerchiefs and throw one away.
I see, but you said you were a magician.
Oh, but I do card tricks with mice.
Maybe I was listening wrong. Did you say you do card tricks with mice?
Yes. Here, pick him out.
Pick a mouse. No, Rudy. You can't do that on the radio. Look, don't you do any of the conventional magician's tricks, like maybe sawing a woman in half?
Oh, but, monsieur, I shall never saw a woman in half again. I was never so humiliated. I was on the stage of the Orpheum Theater, you see.
You mean something went wrong with the trick?
Oh, yes. I don't know how it happened, but I was sawing this woman in half when all of a sudden I heard bloop, blip, bloop, blip.
Poor Simone.
But I have a trick for which I'm famous. Look, I take $50 from your nose. See?
Gee, I wish I'd known that this morning. I needed some change. Now, what else do you do?
Surprising as it may seem, I'm also a great hypnotist.
That's fine for the radio. Hypnotism.
Oh, yes. Look, I'll do it to you. Abba-dabba, sleep. Abba-dabba, sleep. Abba-dabba, sleep.
See, it really works.
It does?
Yeah, my abba-dabba's asleep. Thank you, monsieur. Please stand by for the decision of the audience. Now, here's our last contestant in our talent hunt for a winter replacement. Your name, sir?
Benny, Jack Benny.
No favoritism, please. Now, Mr. Benny, have you ever had any experience on the radio before?
Why, yes. In fact, I worked out on the radio up until 12 weeks ago.
Oh, and what have you been doing for the past 12 weeks?
Collecting unemployment insurance.
Tell me, Mr. Benny, these days of inflated prices, they worry me. Isn't it rather difficult to live on $20?
Yes, it's become almost impossible for me to save more than $12 a week. I had to close up the left wing of our house. Unfortunately, Mary's mother was in it at the time.
Mr. Benny, what can you do?
Well, here's my business card.
Do you mind if I unfold it?
Please do.
All right. Jack Benny, comedian and violin virtuoso. Violin selections provided for private parties and weddings, formerly with Phil Spitalny. Mr. Benny, were you really with Phil Spitalny?
Yes, until my voice changed. That was about 6 years ago. I finally left the orchestra with spite work or something. That Evelyn and her magic violin. You know, she just held hers. I had to play mine. But, Mr. Paar, you haven't finished reading my card yet.
Oh, yes. Can provide violin music for junior proms, birthday parties, taffy pulls, banquets, and anniversaries.
Oh, turn it over. There's more on the other side.
Oh, yes. Also, I'm being considered to accompany Margaret Truman at the Hollywood Bowl.
It's a cinch, if she sings Love and Bloom.
Now, Mr. Benny, you said you were on the radio. Were you a contestant?
No, I was an entertainer. You see, many years ago, I started my career as a comedian in vaudeville. I knew I was a comedian because all my clothes were made that way.
And from vaudeville, you went into radio.
Yes, and I'll never forget those early days of broadcasting. Mr. Paar, maybe you heard one of my first shows.
I probably did. Which one were you, Mert or Marge?
No, Mr. Paar. He's bad living. I was the original Jack Armstrong, the all-American boy.
When you were a boy, we didn't have all of America.
Wait till you hear my next line. We did too.
Mr. Benny, you mentioned a few minutes ago that up until the last 12 weeks you were working on the radio. What type of show did you do?
Well, if you've ever heard me on the air, you'd realize I'm one of the funniest men in radio. And to prove it, I brought over a script of one of my shows. I was just great.
All right, Mr. Benny, you read your part, and I'll read the other roles.
Oh, there are no other roles to this. I just typed up the part I did on the show. Now, listen. Thank you, Don. Well, hello, Mary. Phil, you've got to do something about that band. Sing, Dennis. Rochester, answer the door. Yay! Well, what do you know? It's Ronnie and Benita. But we're a little late, so good night, folks.
And, Mr. Benny, that is the mirth-quaking humor you did on the radio.
Yes, sir.
Well, maybe you'd better play the violin for us.
Just a second till I get it. 1 second. All right, let's go.
Mr. Benny, that's quite an expensive-looking violin you have there, huh?
It is, but I'm even prouder of the bow. You see, most bows are made of horsehair. This one comes from Lassie.
I thought it was an awfully short bow. Now, suppose you start.
Oh, just a minute. I want to rosin my bow here.
Oh, by all means do. Why the half shape?
Ready now. I brought my own. I try to talk in so you wouldn't get such a big laugh. I brought my own piano accompanist, Jose. Give me A, will you? That's close enough. Intermezzo. If you don't do that fast, you're dead, you know. Twice Fatali let me go and kept Evelyn. I'll never know. And now for a faster number.
That's enough, Mr. Benny. Mr. Benny, you can stop now. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Something wrong?
Yes, Mr. Benny, I don't feel you're quite ready yet.
But, Mr. Paar, you haven't given me a fair chance.
I'm sorry, Mr. Benny, but you're wasting my time.
Look, kid, your time is my time.
Mr. Benny, stand by for the decision of the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard our three contestants. Now, as I put my hand over each contestant's head, the studio audience will applaud, indicating their favorites. First, I have my hand over the Furpo system. Now I have my hand over Rudy LaPay, the magician.
Abba-dabba, abba-dabba, abba-dabba.
And finally, we have the violinist, Jack Benny.
Are you sure your hand is over my head?
Yes.
You're positive your hand is over my head?
Certainly, I have it right over your...
Uh-oh. What's the matter?
It's under your toupee.
Well, what do you know?
Jack Paar will be back in just a moment. But first,
Lucky Strike presents The Man Who Knows.
American.
The Man Who Knows, the tobacco auctioneer.
Mr. James Monroe Ball, Ace Tobacco Auctioneer of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, said not long ago,
season after season, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy fine mellow leaf, tobacco that makes a swell smoke.
The Man Who Knows, the tobacco buyer.
Mr. Carl Hartfield, well-known tobacco buyer from Greensburg, Kentucky, recently said,
at auction after auction, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy fine tobacco. Right, prime leaf. I've smoked Lucky for over 28 years.
And so it goes with the man who knows, the tobacco expert. Remember, fine tobacco is what counts in a cigarette. And
LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
So for your own real deep-down smoking enjoyment, smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the air.
tune in next week to the Jack Paar Show with Trudy Irwin, the outstanding Paige Cavanaugh Trio, Jerry Fielding in the orchestra, yours truly, High Haverback, and Jack Paar.
Oh, Mr. Benny. Yes? We just took a secret ballot, and you've been elected to be our winter replacement.
Well, I knew it all along.
But, Jack, I'm a little worried. You're not going to play your violin or tell jokes, are you?
Oh, no, I've got something brand new up my sleeve. It's never been done before.
What is it?
Here, pick a mouse.
Good night, everybody.
Don't forget, friends, for the top in radio entertainment, set your dial to NBC Wednesday night for that thrilling newspaper drama, The Big Story. And on Saturday night, don't miss your hit parade with Martha Tilton, the Pied Pipers, and starring Andy Wilson.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Ladies, this season's two-piece play suits are bolder, briefer, exposing more skin. You'll want to be a bearskin beauty, beautiful all over. So get big bath-size Palmolive soap. Use it in tub and shower. Makes oceans of soft, lovely lather. Gives you Palmolive's famous complexion care all over. See if regular cleansing with Palmolive doesn't make your skin softer, smoother, more alluring. For bearskin beauty, get bath-size Palmolive soap today.
Gentlemen, Dennis Day.
Oh, I think I see world in your eyes and the spell of your smile.
Dennis Day is brought to you by Colgate Dental Cream and Luster Cream Shampoo. Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your for soft, glamorous dream girl hair. The Dennis Day Show with Barbara Eiler, B. Benadera, Dink Trout, Charles Dant in the orchestra, and yours truly, Vern Smith, is written by Frank Galen and stars our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Here's Dennis to sing When the Red, Red Robin Comes Bob-bob-bobbing Along.
When the red, red robin comes bob-bob-bobbing along, there'll be no more sobbing when he stops throbbing his old sweet song. Wake up, you sleepyhead. Get up, get up, get out of bed. Cheer up, the sun is red. Live, love, laugh, and be happy. What if I've been blue? Now I'm walking through fields of flowers. Rain may glisten, but still I listen for hours and hours. I'm just a kid again, doing what I did again, singing a song. When the red, red robin comes bob-bob-bobbing along. What if I've been blue? Now I'm walking through fields of flowers. Rain may glisten, but still I listen for hours and hours. I'm just a kid again, doing what I did again, singing a song. When the red, red robin comes bob-bob-bobbing along.
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth.
No other toothpaste does a better job of cleaning teeth than Colgate Dental Cream. For Colgate Dental Cream has a safe polishing agent that cleans your teeth both gently and thoroughly, brings out their natural sparkle and beauty. You can actually see and feel the difference.
And scientific tests prove that Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. Yes, actual scientific tests prove conclusively that in 7 out of 10 cases, Colgate's instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth.
Colgate Dental Cream is famous for its wonderful wake-up flavor, too. Nationwide tests of leading toothpastes prove that Colgate's is preferred for flavor over every other brand tested. Yes, preferred over every other brand tested.
And no wonder. For Colgate Dental Cream is the result of constant effort to produce the finest toothpaste in the world for flavor, for sweetening breath.
So see if you don't agree with the millions who have made Colgate Dental Cream America's favorite toothpaste. Try Colgate Dental Cream to bring out the natural sparkle and beauty of your teeth. For a wake-up flavor you'll thoroughly enjoy.
And always use Colgate Dental Cream after you eat and before every date to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. In his relatively short lifetime, our young hero, Dennis Day, has held a great many jobs. And up till now, no employer has ever accused him of helping business. But things may have changed. For yesterday, Dennis became a clerk in the Weaverville District Telegraph Office. And those who know him say this will not help one business, but two: the post office and the telephone company. Our young hero, however, is determined to make good. In fact, to become the greatest telegraph clerk in history. And he's now telling his girlfriend Mildred how he's going about it.
You mean you don't send out the telegrams the way the customers write them, Dennis?
Oh, I keep the sense of them all right. But you take one of the wires I got this afternoon. George fell off a horse today and broke both his arms. Naturally, a person who receives a message like that is going to be upset, so I try to minimize it.
Well, how?
Well, I sent it out. George fell off a horse today and broke both his arms, but don't worry. His legs are still working fine.
I see.
Sure. Things like that are bound to call me to my boss's attention sooner or later. And wait till he hears about my big bargain wire.
Your big bargain wire?
Yeah. You know those telegrams you send a woman every time something important happens in her life? Well, I've made up one wire that covers everything. Saves people a fortune.
One wire that covers everything?
Sure. It says, congratulations on your engagement, your son's graduation, your daughter's wedding, and happy golden anniversary, my dear widow.
Oh, Dennis.
Great, huh?
Well, is that all you do, make up and edit telegrams?
Oh, no. I also take all the incoming messages off the wires.
Well, that doesn't sound too difficult.
Well, right now it's pretty confused. There's so much stuff coming over from the Republican convention it's getting mixed up with the other messages.
Oh, really?
Yeah. One telegram read, "Congratulations, Joe. Stop. You have just become the father of twins. Dewey is sure of 18 in Oregon."
Up. I hope you straightened it out.
Oh, sure. I sent Dewey a telegram that he'd had twins in Oregon, that's all.
What?
And the other wire read, "You have just become the father of 18. Joe, stop."
Oh.
Oh, my gosh, here I am talking away, and I nearly forgot what I came home for. I got a telegram here for your mother.
A wire from Mother? Oh, golly, it must be from her niece and nephew in Los Angeles. They were expecting a baby.
Yeah, and if I remember the telegram correctly, that's what they got.
Well, you better give that wire to Mother right away. She's been waiting to hear all week.
Okay, I'll see you later. Oh, hi, Mrs. Anderson. Mr. Anderson.
Oh, hello, Dennis.
Good morning, my boy.
I got a wire for you, Mrs. Anderson. It's from your nephew in Los Angeles.
Oh, at last. Give it to me. Little Susan arrived this morning, 7 pounds, 6 ounces. Stassen says it's time for a change.
Oh, it's that darn convention news sneaking in again. It's just a mistake, Mrs. Anderson.
Oh. Well, isn't it just marvelous, Herbert? Bill and Henrietta have a little girl.
Yeah. I hope they didn't have the trouble that we did when Mildred was born. Remember, for a while, the doctor was afraid he might lose me.
Yes, but we managed to pull you through. Oh, my, isn't this exciting? We've just got to buy little Susan things for her layette. Herbert, we'll use the $50 we've saved up.
Why, Poopsie, that $50 was supposed to buy that new suit I need so badly.
Herbert, you don't want your new little grandniece to go naked, do you?
She'll attract a lot less attention that way than I will.
Nonsense. Hand me my purse. Dennis, do you think you can run an errand for me and for once in your life get it straight?
Why not?
It baffles you, too, huh? All I want you to do is this. Take the time and go down and with a $50 bill to 314 10th Street.
314 10th Street?
Yes. It's a new baby shop that's just opened. I'll phone them and order everything and tell them you'll begin with the money.
Okay.
The address again is 314 10th Street. And it's for Susan Quincy's layette. Can you remember that?
Oh, Mrs. Anderson, you know me.
This once surprised me. Come along, Herbert.
Always making cracks about me. Thinks I'm some kind of a dope. Thinks I can't remember a simple name like Susan Quincy and a simple address like 310 14th Street. I'll show her someday.
This is sure some town Big Sam picked out for us, Pinky. A bookie could starve to death in a burg like this.
Well, keep your shirt on, Duke. Nobody knows yet that we're taking horse bets here. Wait till the word gets around. We'll get action.
Yeah, but when is it going to start? So far, we ain't had
Hey, anybody here?
Gee, could that be a customer out front?
I'm here about the layette.
Oh, you hear that, Pinky? He wants to lay a bet.
Didn't I tell you we'd get action soon? Coming, pal. What can I do for you, Bud?
This is 310 14th Street, isn't it?
Yeah, you're in the right place, pal.
Good. Here's the $50.
50, eh? Okay. On who?
I beg pardon?
What's the name of the entry?
Oh, Susan Quincy.
Susan Quincy. Oh, yeah, here it is in the form, only it's just listed as Susie Q.
Susie Q, huh?
Yeah, she's the first at Hollywood.
Oh, really? I thought that sort of thing was going on out there all the time.
Well, how do you want her, pal?
Huh?
Well, do you want her to show?
Oh, no, that's why I gave you the $50.
Then you wanted to go on the front end.
I wanted to go on both ends. She might get in a draft or something.
In other words, you wanted to cross.
Sure, cross around everywhere.
Personally, I don't think she's got a chance, kid. Not with the kind of handicap she's faced with today.
Oh, you know her parents?
Well, no. She's got pretty good bloodlines.
Oh, the best. Her father spent 4 years in Harvard, and her mother came from Wellesley.
Harvard and Elsley, never heard of. Must be trotting tracks.
What Duke is trying to tell you, kiddo, is that according to the dope, that baby is a terrific long shot.
Oh, I know. I understand a family never even expected a mother to get married.
Don't you mean mated?
Sure, if you want to call it that. Well, anyway, her mother was nearly 30 and she hadn't even met anyone yet.
30? Why, they generally mate them when they're around 6.
6?
Sure. I certainly never heard of anyone waiting past 8 or 9.
Gee, I guess I traveled with a...
Well, there ain't no use discussing it any further. Your dough is up, and you got yourself a deal.
Swell. I'll drop back in on my way home from work and pick up the bundle.
Pretty sure of yourself, huh? If you ask me, you'll find this Susie Q pulled up in a stretch.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Who ever heard of anyone wearing one of those at her age?
Oh, hello, my boy.
Oh, hi, Mr. Anderson.
Take care of that layette order for Poopsie, all right?
Oh, sure, nothing to it. Those salesmen in that store are two of the nicest fellows I ever met.
Fellows? Why, the salespeople in that shop are all women.
Oh, really? Gee, they had me fooled completely.
Dennis, what address did you go to?
310 14th Street, just like Mrs. Anderson said.
310 14th Street? Why, she said 314 10th Street.
You mean I made a mistake? Well, what'll I do?
Well, as I see it, you've got a choice between a head start and a headstone.
Boy.
What kind of a store was it? Can you describe it?
Well, there were just these two men in the back sitting at a desk. One of them was reading a newspaper called The Racing Form, and he was...
Oh, my soul and body, Dennis. You gave that money to a couple of bookmakers.
Oh, my gosh, and it'll be at least 6 years before little Susan learns to read.
They don't sell books. It's a horse parlor.
Don't be silly. There wasn't a horse in the place.
Dennis, don't you understand? You bet Poopsies $50 on a horse.
You mean I... Oh, my gosh, so that's what Susie Q is.
Now, you've got to call those men this minute and tell them to cancel that bet.
Yeah, and I don't even know their number. Say, maybe Miss Baker will help me out. Thank goodness she's our operator. Hello? Hello, Miss Baker. This is Dennis. Look, you got to connect me with a store at 310 14th Street. It's a matter of life and death. In both cases, mine. Yeah, gee, thanks, Miss Baker.
That's a break.
Yeah. Hello? Say, this is the fellow who was just in and made that $50 bet. It seems I made a mistake, so I'd like to cancel the... Yeah, but... Yeah, but... Yeah, but... Yeah.
Well?
They said a bet was a bet, and if I tried to get out of it, I'd find myself in the river some dark night. What can I do, Mr. Anderson? You know how easily I catch cold.
It isn't pleasant to have a cold in your head and your head in a block of cement.
Yeah, they aren't even handling the bet themselves because they haven't got that much money. They said they're phoning it in to someone called Big Sam over in Middletown.
Oh, if we could only think of some way to keep that phone call from getting through, then the bet would be off.
Well, you know that's impossible, Mr. Anderson. The only chance we have is if Susie Q wins the race.
Well, do you think she possibly can, Dennis?
Gee, I don't know. Let's have a look at that paper and see how the experts rate her.
Yeah, here.
Let's see. First race at Hollywood Park, Waterman, very coy, good early speed from gate, excellent morning workouts. Red sunset, speed and plenty of courage. Susie Q has bushy tail.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and as I just said, our only chance is to keep that phone call from going through.
We'll be back in just a moment to continue our day in the life of Dennis Day. Meanwhile, here's Dennis to sing Dolores.
I love the kisses of Dolores. Only my Dolores, from a balcony above me, she whispers, love me, and throws a rose. Ah, but she is twice as lovely as the rose she throws. I would die to be with my Dolores. Dolores. I was made to serenade Dolores. Chorus after chorus. Just imagine eyes like moonrise, a voice like music, and lips like wine. What a break if I could make Dolores mine. Oh, mine.
It started when Mrs. Anderson gave Dennis $50 to buy a layette for her grandniece, and he bet it on a horse by mistake. Now the only chance he has is to keep the bet from being phoned into the bookie in Middletown. Luckily, his spinster friend, Miss Baker, who has quite a crush on him, is the local telephone operator. So Dennis has just dropped down to the exchange to see what he could do about tying up the phones.
Why, Dennis, what are you doing here?
Oh, I just dropped in to thank you for getting me that number, Miss Baker. It sure was nice of you.
Oh, it was nothing. Sit down, darling. Sit down. Right here on this stool.
But you're already sitting on it.
Yes, I know.
Miss Baker, please. This is a place of business.
Of course, and that's just what I mean. Come on, you gorgeous thing.
Oh, now, Miss Baker, I'm no different than hundreds of other attractive men, and you know it.
Oh, but you are. If I had a dozen boyfriends, I'd look at you the same way.
Really?
Yes, of course, I might be a little more relaxed about it. Come on, sit down here.
Oh, no. Gee whiz, you get me all embarrassed.
You're not embarrassed about sitting on that little Mildred Anderson's lap. I saw you last night.
Miss Baker, you've been spying again.
Oh, I have not. I just happened to be walking past your keyhole on my knees.
Oh, that explains those holes in the doormat.
Well, I can't help it if I'm a little jealous. You've never taken me out even once since we met.
Well, would you like a date with me tonight?
Tonight? Oh, Dennis, do you mean it?
Sure. Why don't you run over to the beauty parlor and get yourself all fixed up? I'll run your switchboard for you.
Oh, you mean right now?
Oh, why wait? If you want to look attractive, you better start pretty early.
Oh, but Dennis, I can't be... Oh, just a minute. I'll take this call. Hello? Middletown? Yes, sir.
Middletown. Quick, Miss Baker, to the beauty parlor. Hurry before they run out of eyelashes and hips and things. Quick.
Dennis, I have to...
Go ahead. I'll take this call. Hurry or no date.
Oh, well, all right. Here, take my headset. I'll see you later.
Okay. Oh, my gosh, I got to stop this call from going through. If he gets to Big Sam...
Hello?
Did you want your number, please?
Yes, I want Middletown 333.
Middletown 333?
Yeah, 333.
That number has been changed to Middletown 334.
Okay, then give me Middletown 334.
That number has been changed to Middletown 433.
Then give me Middletown 433.
I'm sorry, there is no such number.
Operator, will you get me my party? This is important.
I'm doing the best I can.
Well, hurry, will you? I got to get through to Big Sam.
That name has been changed to Small Pete.
Has not. I want Middletown 333. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I'm connecting you with Pulaski 333.
I don't want Pulaski. I want Middletown. Middletown.
That name has been changed to Cincinnati.
I want Middletown 333. Can't you get that through your head?
Yes, sir. I'm ringing Hoboken, Nyan.
You've got the wrong number.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll hang up.
I mean, I got the wrong number.
Okay, then you hang up.
Please, operator. I'm on Middletown 333. Please.
I will connect you.
Thank heaven.
Here is your party.
Hello, Big Sam?
I'm sorry, your 3 minutes are up.
What?
Kindly deposit $87 for 3 more minutes.
Never mind. I'm going down to the telegraph office and send a wire. Goodbye.
Oh, my gosh, the telegraph office. Where's my hat? Uh-oh, here he comes. Boy, I hope this eye shade hides enough of my face. He recognizes me.
Hey, mister, you.
Howdy, Bob.
I want to send this wire to Middletown right away, immediately. You understand? Fast.
No, don't get in a sweat, sonny. Keep your Bull Durham dry. Who's she going to?
Sam Daniels.
Hey, what's that last name?
Daniels.
Better spell it for me, sonny.
All right. D-A-N...
What's the first letter?
D. D as in darling.
D as in what? Didn't quite catch that.
Darling. D-A-R...
What's that letter after A?
R. R like in return.
A?
Return. R-E-T...
What'd you say?
T. T as in tomorrow.
How's that again?
Tomorrow! T-O-M-O-R-R-O-W.
I didn't quite catch that last letter.
W. Like in wife.
Hey.
Wife. W-I-F-E.
W-I-F what?
E. Like in elope. E-L-O-P.
Did you say...
No, P like in plumber.
Oh, plumber. Now I got it. I'll read your wire back.
What wire?
Darling, return tomorrow. Wife eloped with the plumber.
No!
Want to send it a straight wire or a night letter, sonny?
I don't want to send it at all. I'm taking the next train out of here and talk to the man myself. Goodbye!
Oh, my gosh, the train. Well, what am I waiting for? I know Earl Welch, the station agent, pretty well. Where's my hat?
Hey, are you the ticket agent?
Yep, here I
am. Give me a ticket to Middletown, quick. I want a ticket to Middletown. What's the matter? Are you crazy or something? That's the last train today, and it leaves in 2 minutes. Now, give me a ticket.
What you going to Middletown for? See the barbecue show?
It's none of your business.
I went to the barbecue show once, caught an awful cold.
Look.
The fellow in the back of me kept yelling, take it off. I didn't want to disappoint him.
Look. I want a ticket to Middletown.
Oh, yes. So you do. You want the green ticket or the red ticket?
How do I know? Does it matter?
Nope, they're both the same.
Then give me a green ticket.
A green ticket with a blue suit? You don't care how you look.
Then give me a red suit. I mean a blue suit. Give me a... Oh, my gosh, look. The train's pulling out.
Yep, they will do that, you know.
Oh. You fool, now I can't get to Middletown. Do you realize you just cost me $50 I'm going to have to give back?
You don't say. Well, ain't that too bad? That's the fairest thing I ever heard.
And he returned Mother's $50 to you, Dennis?
Sure, the bet was off. I outsmarted him. But I still may be in trouble with your mother, Mildred. I found out something when I got back to the telegraph office this evening.
What?
Well, I found out that...
My gracious, did you children see the evening papers?
No, why, Mother?
Oh, if only I'd played a hunch today.
Huh? Well, what do you mean?
Well, this morning Susan Quincy was born, and this afternoon a horse named Susie Q won at Hollywood Park and paid over 200 to 1.
Mildred, if you want to shoot me, I'll be glad to write a suicide note.
Oh, my golly, is that what you meant you found out at the telegraph office?
No, I didn't know about that. But I found out that I delivered the wrong telegram to your mother this morning.
What?
Yeah, the wire I gave you was supposed to go to Mrs. Wilkins down the street. It was her sister that had the baby, only in Chicago, not Los Angeles.
But then what did my wire say?
I'd rather not read it to you.
Dennis Day, I want to know what was in that wire.
Well, it says, just got a sure thing tip on a horse. If you have any spare cash, take it all and bet it on Susie Q in the first race at Hollywood. Sign your nephew, Bill.
Dennis Day will be back in just 1 minute to sing Blue Shadows on the Trail. But first...
Dream girl, cream girl, hair that gleams and luster cream shampoo.
Yes, for soft, glamorous dream girl hair, try Luster Convenient tubes or jars, whichever you prefer. Luster Cream, the new three-way loveliness. Fragrantly clean, glistening with sheen, soft, easy to manage. Not a soap, not a liquid, but an utterly new, rich lathering cream shampoo. A blend of secret ingredients plus lanolin. 4-ounce jar, $1. 4 jars, 49.25 cents. Be a dream girl, a lovely
dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo.
Well, as Jack Benny would say, we're a little late, folks. Good night.
Next week, tune into another Dennis Day show brought to you by Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous dream girl hair. This is Vern Smith speaking. Good night.
Good evening. This is Ronald Coleman inviting you to join Mrs. Coleman and myself for the next half hour when our sponsor, the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, presents The Halls of Ivy.
And now, The Halls of Ivy.
We love the halls of ivy that surround us here today.
Welcome again to Ivy. Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA. It's morning in the household of the William Todd Hunter Halls, and the doctor is sitting at his desk. His wife, Victoria, enters to overhear the mutterings that invariably seem to accompany the president's perusal of the morning mail.
Ridiculous. Preposterous.
Sounds as if the mail is up to its usual standard, Toddy. Or is it worse?
Oh, no worse. A little duller, perhaps. Mostly advertisements. Just think of the appalling waste, the expenditure of paper and energy, the hours of secretarial work, the wear and tear on the throats of house dogs barking at thousands of mailmen.
Yes, but think of the profit to the paper and the dog food people.
And the taxes they pay on the profits they make from the sales of the articles they sell to the people who don't need them, and the big dividends they send to the stockholders who are thus able to send their sons and daughters to Ivy, who will grow up to make better shoes and finer paper and finally bring bigger taxes.
All right, Vicky, all right. You can breathe now.
Okay, Chief.
I must say I admire the way in which you tortured the subject of a dull morning's mail into a promotional plan for increasing our student enrollment.
Well, thank you. It was nothing, really. I mean, anyone with my knowledge of technological processes could have done it. You see, when examined closely, inflation and its effect on our capitalistic structure...
Vicky, please.
Well, you don't care to hear about the economic fabric of an industrial society?
No.
Well, it's a good thing. I couldn't have gone on much longer.
May I ask where you acquired this Roger Babson babble?
Well, yes, the Wall Street Journal. You left it lying about, and you know me, old Snoopy. Yeah, I'm a quick study, too. I can leaf through an old copy of the medical journal and know exactly how to treat a case of the Waldorf Syndrome.
I feel that this discourse is getting away from me, but what is the Waldorf Syndrome?
Well, it's a neurotic compulsion to peek into other people's newspapers. And I got it bad. Go on with the mail, darling. What's the one you got there?
Oh, some long-winded thing.
Well, read it.
While you may not be a connoisseur, such nonsense. Within the purely academic field, etc., master spirit of his age, wasting my time. Color and style unmatched, flawless technique. This is awful. For the benefit of Ivy, without any encumbrance. But this is wonderful. and conceivably worth $100,000.
$100,000?
$100 would be grand, Vicky, but this is $100,000.
No, dear. A grand is 1,000.
Oh, I thought you said 100 was grand.
Well, never mind, Toddy. Forget about my bad early training and tell me what it's all about. I mean, is it awful or is it wonderful?
Well, it's certainly better than I thought. It's from a lawyer, Homer Benson, of the firm of Benson, Willoughby and Benson.
Oh, Willoughby, I wonder if he spent Christmas alone.
Benson is executor for the estate of the late Mrs. Charlotte Peters. Her husband was an Ivy graduate, and she was a Frenchwoman of some wealth. During the last war, he died while fighting with the French resistance, and she fled to this country. She has occupied her last few years in an effort to recover some of her family art treasures.
And where does Ivy and the $100,000 come in?
Well, in her will, she leaves what Mr. Benson describes in his letter as a superb and fully authenticated Goya painting to Ivy College. Mr. Benson himself is on his way here now to complete the necessary formalities.
Oh, Tolly, how exciting. We couldn't hang it in here, could we?
To begin with, Vicky, the painting is 7 feet by 5, and we cannot raise the roof. At least not any more than we did on Christmas Eve. Secondly, Mr. Wellman and the Board of Governors would hardly approve. No, Mr. W. and the BOG will have to decide whether it hangs in Emerson Hall or the new Ivy Art Center, or whether it's put on the market.
To be sold?
Yes, the proceeds to go towards building the new Ivy Art Center.
How about putting the Goya up and then building the new art center around it and then start classes? Or would that be putting the art before the course?
Well, then we wouldn't have the money to start building the... Vicky, I'm a very busy man.
Oh, yes, I know you are, darling. Well, when is Mr. Benson coming?
Well, he should be here now. I just heard a car pull up. Look out of the window, darling, will you? Is it an attorney with the mud of the airport still on his shoes and a bulging briefcase which probably holds an extra shirt and a seal?
A seal? In that little briefcase?
A notary public seal, dear.
Oh.
Well, can you see him, our visitor, I mean?
But yes, I think it's Mr. Willoughby. If it isn't Mr. Benson or Mr. Benson. On the other hand, of course, it could be Mr. Benson. I'll get it.
Remarkable woman, my wife. Remarkable. How can 100 be grand and then be 1,000? Very odd.
Brilliant. Here's Mr. Benson. This is my husband, Dr. Hall.
Good morning, Dr. Hall.
Mr. Benson, I'm glad to see you. I was very interested in your letter, and on behalf of Ivy...
Just a moment, Doctor. Since my letter was mailed, a disturbing complication has arisen. Mr. Basil Willingdon, the eminent art critic, declares the painting to be a fraud and not an original Goya at all.
Well, there goes the nucleus of our art center before we even got it. Is Mr. Willingdon's decision final?
Not at all, Mrs. Hall.
In fact, Mr. Willington has not seen the painting.
Oh.
His opinion is based on a communication he has just received from the Bernheimer Gallery in Bordeaux. They claim it is a work of no importance.
Well, that seems to settle it. I'm not enough of a critic myself to argue with an established art gallery.
However, on the manifest, it was declared by Mrs. Peters to be an old master, therefore free of duty. And Mrs. Peters was herself a connoisseur and an authority in the world of art. Furthermore, her declaration has the endorsement of the best art critic in Paris.
Well, things are looking up again.
Where is this painting at the moment, Mr. Benson?
Still in its crate at the New York docks, awaiting claim and clearance. Mrs. Peters died a few days after its arrival.
Well, why can't they open it up and let the experts appraise it?
And not without the authority of the owner. And according to the will, it is now, if accepted by you, the property of Ivy College.
Well, I don't see how we can accept it until the mystery is cleared up. Emerson would turn in his grave if we hung a fraud in Emerson Hall.
Toddy, wouldn't it be just perfect for the Clarence Wellman Hall?
That's just where Mr. Wellman wants it.
What?
I'm acquainted with Mr. Wellman, Dr. Hall, and knowing he was the chairman of your board, I telephoned him yesterday and informed him of my coming here this morning.
I assume he is unaware of this dispute among the critics as to the authenticity of the painting.
He is. That complication was only brought to my attention after I'd spoken to him.
Our friend Clarence is going to have a rude awakening.
Well, unless Mrs. Peters is right and Willingdon and company are wrong.
There is one more factor to be considered, Dr. Hall.
Well, if this gets any more involved, I'll paint a Goya myself.
Mrs. Peters in her will stipulates that the painting must either hang in Ivy College, be disposed of for Ivy's benefit, or Ivy may accept the sum of $5,000 as an alternative. The picture then to be sold for other charities.
What is Ivy to lose?
In the latter alternative, a great deal, should the painting turn out to be genuine.
Yes, $5,000 against a possible $100,000. Well, it seems we must just wait on Mr. Wellman and the board.
I am to call on Mr. Wellman on my way to the airport with the papers for his signature. One last formality. With the will, there was a letter addressed to you as president of Ivy College. As you see on the envelope, Mrs. Peters stipulated that it must be opened only after the acceptance of the request.
Yes, I see. Thank you.
Goodbye, Mrs. Hall.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Mr. Benson. Vicky?
Here I am, Toddy.
Oh, I'm sorry if I'm late. Any messages?
Yes. The president of the Royal Academy phoned.
Oh, what did he have to... Who? What on earth can he be?
Well, then the vice president, Mr. Wellman. You know, Wellman, the art lover. The man who stole the Mona Lisa. Leonardo da Vinci's unauthenticated grandson. He wants you to call him.
Well, after your description of him, anything I can call him will be anticlimactic. Oh, let him wait a minute. Let me put my feet up and enjoy these peaceful surroundings.
May I make a suggestion?
By all means, darling, what do you suggest?
Before you put your feet up, you'd better sit down. You might have a nasty fall otherwise.
A very sound idea, and I'll do it.
Yeah, well, all right. Now, what about Wellman?
Yes, and what about the Goya? Is it true or false? Now that Wellman knows it's in question, will he take the picture and the gamble, or...
Oh, the $5,000. That's my guess. He'll take the cash, no gambler he.
And what about the mysterious letter from the late Mrs. Peters? That's not to be opened till Christmas. I mean until the request has been accepted. What can the envelope contain?
Yeah. That reminds me, Toddy. We'll have to be ordering some more stationery soon. And your envelopes are much too transparent. You can read almost anything through them, particularly if you dampen it with alcohol.
Well, so I order some more, will you, darling, and tell him this time to be sure... Vicky, what are you dampening the alcohol? You've been beeping.
Oh, how could you say such a thing? Couldn't find any alcohol in the house. And holding it up to the window, Ed isn't peeping. Such nice... excuse me.
Yeah, be an angel, darling, and see who that is while I get a quick wash.
Angel on the wing, Toddy. And if this angel knows her hunches, it's Whistler's father, James McNeil Wellman. Good evening, Mr. Wellman. My husband just came in. Come in and sit down.
I've only a few minutes, Mrs. Hall.
Yeah, well, he'll be here in a moment.
Tell me, Mrs. Hall, you know something of art?
Well, if painting one's face over and over again, nights and matinees, is art, then I suppose.
Oh, yes, you were an actress. I believe. It is possible that you are better acquainted with art, painting, that is, than a man of business like myself, or a man like Dr. Hall, who has limited his activities, his scope to college affairs. Tell me, Mrs. Hall, what you know of a painter named, that is to say, of a foreign artist, a French, I believe. He went by the name of, at least he was called, his pen name, a big painting, 7 feet high.
You mean Goya?
Of course I mean Goya. Who else should I mean?
Well, I know little about Goya. Most of his work hangs in the Prado, that famous art gallery in Madrid. He was probably Spain's greatest painter.
Mr. Wellman.
Oh, there you are, Toddy. Mr. Wellman has just been telling me all about Goya.
Oh, yes. The black Goyas, of course.
Dr. Hall, I'm afraid I have too little time for your class in art appreciation.
Oh.
You've heard of this imposture, I understand. If it is an imposture, this Goya painting that either is one or isn't, in the terms of the will, most unbusinesslike. Slipshod, I might say.
Well, at least it was very kind and thoughtful of Mrs. Peters.
I am quite aware of that, Mrs. Hall. I am not without my fair share of human feelings. Quality of mercy is not strained. That is, of gratitude, I mean.
Mr. Wellman.
What is it?
We do not question for one moment your good heart and warm feelings.
Yes. Oh.
No. Now, Mr. Benson gave me most of the facts, I think, before he left here to call on you.
And I must tell you, Dr. Hall, that I have just left a board meeting. Half the board were in favor of accepting this painting, so-called. The other half, including me, is in favor of taking the 5,000 cash and ending the whole matter. The picture is very probably a fake, in which case Ivy would get nothing. Let us be practical, Dr. Hall. Let us be businessmen. We must take the 5,000.
Well, very well, but why come to me?
The meeting agreed that you should cast the deciding vote.
Mr. Wellman, I understood from Mr. Benson that you wanted to accept this painting to hang in Clarence Wellman Hall.
That was when there was no question of fraud. And it was a large painting, and Clarence Wellman Hall is a large hall, Dr. Hall. And there is a bare space on the east wall that needs filling. As an art lover myself, and having always admired the work of, what's his name,
Yes, and I don't blame you. But I find myself in a difficult position, having to cast the deciding vote. If we take the picture and it is finally judged to be a genuine Goya, Ivy College will be the proud possessor of one of the great works of one of the great painters. And if the board should decide to dispose of it to some public trust or art collection, it should bring a very substantial sum of money. On the other hand, we have the option...
Dr. Hall!
What is it?
What is it?
My time is valuable, and this matter must be settled. I am quite willing that Mrs. Hall, with her knowledge of art, the theater, that is, I've already discussed the matter with her, Dr. Hall, her undoubted acquaintance with the work of this so-called, this Van Goya.
Goya.
I said Goya. This man Goya, I said. I'm willing, I say, to accept Mrs. Hall's decision.
Well, Vicky?
Well, what my personal opinion has to do with art criticism, I really fail to see. But I vote for taking the big chance. Take the gift in the spirit in which it was offered. Forget the small potatoes and the chicken feed. To heck with the consequences, and the devil take the hindmost.
Miss Vicky.
When there's beer on your mind, your best thought is Schlitz, the beer that made Milwaukee famous. More people like the taste of Schlitz than any other beer. That's why Schlitz is the largest selling beer in America.
Surround us here today.
Now, back to the halls of Ivy. It's late the following morning, and Mrs. Hall is expecting the doctor home for lunch.
Vicky.
Here, Toddy. Lunch will be ready in a few minutes.
Oh, no hurry, my dear. Faculty meeting isn't until 2:30. That'll give me a full hour after lunch, all to myself. And I will wager you dollars to your Aunt Emily's donuts that I won't be permitted to get away with it. Now, there's a little gremlin that sits up aloft whose one malicious objective is to disturb the intercurricular catnaps of W.T. Hall.
It's just as well, perhaps, Toddy. Helps you keep you slim, soigné, and svelte.
Coming from you, that's nice, Vicky. Last week, Mrs. Kuncannon referred to me as suave. Coming from anyone, that's nauseating, but from a professor's wife, it's treason. But, something is on your mind, my dear. The faintest of shadows flickers across your face. So treat me as an old family friend and tell me all about it.
No, it's nothing, Toddy. But I'll give you just one guess who called.
Wellman. He flicks as gruesome a shadow as anyone.
Yes. But he wouldn't tell me what it was. He said he'll see you later, and he sounded quite upset. I'm afraid I didn't use my vote discreetly yesterday.
Ah, you chose to vote honestly.
Well, what I mean, perhaps, is that I'm beginning to believe I was wrong.
No, I think that your instinct was right. You chose the bigger way. How much better to lose the gamble than to be in the ignominious position later of learning that the Boston Fine Arts Museum has acquired a masterpiece while Ivy has spent $5,000 on a station wagon and a new lawnmower. Now, when you think... Why, Vicky, thank you, my dear.
Oh, darling, Toddy. I just had to hug you. You don't know how relieved I am. Them's the nicest words I've heard since you said Happy New Year.
I only said that... And I beg you not to move, my darling. I only said that your instinct will probably prove to be right again. In fact, whenever an issue arises that is outside the logical reasoning of an underpaid, though quite brilliant, college president, I have been content to leave it to you. Ever since Fanny Blair, as a matter of fact.
Fanny Blair? Is she the redhead who won the Home Economics Award? Has she been sending you apples?
Now, Vicky, I'm shocked. Not that the occasional apple may not agreeably lubricate the relations between master and pupil, sometimes referred to as esprit de corps, but I am shocked. Have you forgotten your English folklore? And our walk across the meadows, from Bumbledon Ferry to Tipperton Town?
Oh, yes. Of course, yes. And our problem at the crossroads, it was just before we were married.
Yes, it must have been late spring, because the laburnum and the lilacs were putting on a tremendous show. Admission free.
In my anxiety to impress you with the English countryside, I was a little afraid they were overacting.
There was a rainstorm coming up, I remember. And we packed up the picnic basket and we were walking back to the station. Remember, Vicky?
We'll have to hurry, I think, William. It's quite a walk back to the station. And it looks like rain. I hope we're on the right path.
I can see a stile ahead. The signpost. Oh, what a wonderful day.
Isn't it? Even when it rains, it's beautiful at this time of the year.
I wasn't thinking only of the countryside, Victoria. I meant the day with you. Wonderful day, beautiful you, fortunate me.
Thank you, William, dear. I've loved every minute of it, too. It's been a picnic in every sense. After a week of grease paint, a day like this is better than any beauty treatment.
Heaven only knows what I shall do when I return to America. Unless you...
Unless I...
No, I promised not to put any more pressure on, didn't I? You're to take as long as you want. It's only that...
Only what?
It's only that I can't help an occasional reminder. A tiny little nudge now and then.
Well, they're nice, warm little nudges, though. Look, we're here at the crossroads.
Oh, very symbolic. Crossroads call for either dirty work or momentous decision. Now, what does the sign say?
Well, it says to the village, all right, but look where it's pointing.
2 paths in 2 different directions, and the sign points right between them. Good, honest, British compromise.
Yes. Oh, plain British indifference. Well, which one should we take?
You decide.
The left. It looks nicer.
Good. Quick decisions gather no moss.
Yeah, we've got no time to dilly-dally. Here comes the rain.
Yes, we may have to run for it. You'll get wet.
Well, I'm all right. I got my raincoat. But what about you?
Oh, nothing could worry me less. Trotting beside you, you see a happy man. There isn't a raindrop born today that would have the heart to touch me.
Oh, William, look over there.
Where?
What luck.
Oh, yes.
Looks like an inn at the end of this field. By the big spreading chestnut.
Fascinating. If the village blacksmith isn't standing under that tree with large and sinewy hands, I shall be disappointed.
Well, we better take shelter for a moment.
Here we are. The door's open. What's this place called?
There's the name up there on the sideboard.
Oh, yes, I see. Oh, wonderful. It's called The Rose Revived. Now, what could be fairer?
Here, William. There's a bench on the side.
Look at those odd characters in the corner. 18th century. What's the lad singing?
It's an old ballad. Fanny Blair, I think. Tale of a village maiden and some unrighted wrong. Listen.
Till the judge cried, there's someone has tutored you well. The day that young Hegan was doomed to die, the people rose up with a murmuring cry. If we catch her, we'll crop her. She falsely has sworn.
Ah, what lovely things happen with you, Victoria. Or is it because I'm in love?
William, dear William. The rain stopped. We must run. The barmaid tells me we're only 10 minutes from the station. It seems I chose the right path.
You certainly did, my dear. You certainly did. Remember that day?
Of course I do.
And ever since then, I've always had the greatest respect for your instinct.
Well, I hope it lasts, because this time I may turn out to be the girl who took the wrong turning.
Oh, nonsense, my dear. What you did was perfectly right.
I know, but you see, there's something else. Besides Mr. Wellman, there was a phone call from Mr. Benson, and he said that this morning the Treasury Department, or the Customs, or something, claimed that there would be a duty to pay in the event of the Goya turning out to be a fraud.
In which case it will be valueless, and there can hardly be any duty on a worthless...
Yeah, but Mr. Wellman, though, Toddy, if there are any charges or complications at all, Charm Boy is really going to flip his lid, to use a handy little undergraduate expression.
Next Christmas, let's give him a top that he can blow whenever he... Dr. Hall speaking.
This is Mr. Wellman. Did you hear from Mr. Benson, Dr. Hall?
Well, no, but Mrs. Hall spoke to him, and I haven't yet had a chance
It's outrageous, Dr. Hall. Simply outrageous. Now look at the mess we're in. I said mess.
Oh, I don't think that we...
That's just it. You don't think. And Mrs. Hall's fatal decision. Fatal, disastrous. Who's going to pay for it? That's what I want to know. Oh! Duty, heavy duty, and on a forgery, too. Penalties, no doubt. Fines, heavy fines. Disgraceful publicity, too. Just because my advice wasn't taken. What's I be coming to? Changes will have to be made, Dr. Hall. Changes.
Mr. Wellman. Mr. Wellman, please keep calm for a moment. If you remember, in Mr. Benson's letter, he said that... Oh, wait a minute. Letter. Mr. Wellman, I'm sorry, but I'll have to call you back. I left the bathwater running.
It's not bathwater at this time of the day. What?
Hunch, my dear. Instinct, of course. The letter. Where's the letter?
What letter?
Mrs. Peters. We can open it now. Top drawer of my desk. I couldn't think of a good answer to Mr. Wellman, and the letter may give me one.
Yes, Toddy.
But it's only a hunch, of course.
Yes. What does it say? What does it say? What does it say? What does it say?
Wait. Here we are. Here. And in memory of my husband, to give to Ivy one of the finest examples of this great master's work that exists outside of Madrid. The overpainting that was applied to conceal the masterpiece from the invading Nazi vandals and which has served its purpose can, of course, be easily removed. The real Goya is underneath it. The beauty and greatness of this classic work... Vicky, get Mr. Wellman on the phone immediately. Tell him to come over and pour his troubled waters on our oil. The other actors in our play tonight were Herbert Butterfield as Mr. Wellman and Ken Peters as Mr. Benson. Our music was composed and conducted by Henry Russell. Tonight's script was written by... oh, dear, wait a minute.
Tonight's script was written by Ronald Coleman.
Well, thank you, my dear. I loved doing it. It shows I have more than one string to my bow.
Well, as long as I only have one bow to my string, I'm going to let him take me home. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
We'll be seeing you next week at this same time at the Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Colman. The Halls of Ivy was created by Don Quinn, directed by Nat Wolf, and presented by the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We invite you to enjoy the Pulitzer Prize Playhouse on television on Friday night. Yesterday, by the way, the Pulitzer Prize Playhouse won the Emmy for the Best Dramatic Program on Television by the vote of the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. This is Ken Carpenter speaking.
We love the halls of ivy that surround us here today, and we will not forget, though we be far, far away.
It isn't the Jack Benny album of familiar jokes, kiddies.
Fred Allen Show, with Fred's guests, Arthur Treacher, Portland Hopper, Minerva Pius as Mrs. Nussbaum, Alan Reed as Falstaff Openshaw, Parker Fenley as Titus Moody, the DeMarco Sisters, and Al Goodman and his orchestra. And until I show up as Senator Claghorn, my name is Kenny Delmar. Today, ladies and gentlemen, most radio programs are giving things away. This program is different. We give you nothing. And to prove it, here he is, Fred Allen.
Thank you. Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Kenny, you're right about radio programs giving things away. You know, the only trouble is that generally the winners get the wrong things.
What do you mean?
Well, a leading question if I have ever heard one. Well, I shall tell you what I mean, Kenneth. Last week on a program, let me see, that program, If You Can Lift It, Take It Away. No, that was another one. This was the following day. Oh, this program was called Musician for a Day. Now, on this program, an old lady, 89 years of age, won a set of bagpipes. Now, the poor old lady hasn't got wind enough to cool a demi-task. What can she do with the bagpipes? That's my question.
Oh. You're really making this up, Fred.
Kenny, if I am lying, may you get a line with a laugh in it some night. I heard another program, Morons Are Funny, with some guy, Ralph Winkletter, I think his name is. And a man came to the microphone, Mr. Tomtit Nishball. I caught the name. And he missed his question, and they hit him right in the face with a lemon meringue pie. Then they gave him a Gruen watch.
Well, Mr. Nishball got a watch, didn't he?
Yes, but for 2 weeks, Mr. Nishball had meringue in his eye and couldn't see what time it was. So you see, Kenny, if you win a wheelbarrow... Well, Portland. You're just in time, Portland. Kenny and I are talking about radio programs giving things away.
Mama won 2,000 cakes of soap and a sponge on the radio.
Oh, really? In a contest, was it?
I use Oh Boy Soap because.
Oh Boy Soap because. What was your mother's winning answer?
Mama wrote, I use Oh Boy Soap because I'm dirty.
She had 23 words left over, huh? Well, tell me, what's new this week, Portland?
Did you read that some company wants to put music in the subway train?
Music, that's fine. That'll be like riding to work in a jukebox, won't it?
If they played the Star-Spangled Banner in the subway, women might be able to get seats.
Well, how could they get the Star-Spangled Banner? Lucy Monroe will not sing in the subway.
The subway could have its own song.
Subway songs? What song?
BMT for two.
BMT for two.
Will you love me at Penn Station as you did at Union Square? She'll be coming on the shuttle when she comes.
I don't think it's going to work out, Portland.
Why not?
Well, the subway is losing money. Now, if it needs music, the mayor will be glad to go down in the subway and sing the blues. And speaking of business, we have no business here. You know, it's time we were getting down to Allen's Alley.
What is your question tonight?
Do you believe in hobbies? And if you do, what is your hobby?
Shall we go?
As Winkin said to Blinken, why not? Here we are back in Allen's Alley, Portland. That good air. Well, the senator's in all right. His hexing kit and voodoo mess jacket are here on the front veranda, see? Well, let's knock.
Somebody knock.
Yes,
Claghorn's the name, Senator Claghorn, that is.
I know, you're from the South.
I've been in the house all day. I refused to come out.
Why?
The wind was blowing from the north. The only dance I do is at Charleston.
Now, look.
I never go to the Stork Club, son.
Why not?
That Billingsley's first name is Sherman.
Now, wait a minute.
Sherman. When I say that name, I'll rinse my mouth out.
Tell me, Senator, confidentially, do you have a hobby?
My only hobby is home movies.
Oh, you have different pictures?
Only one picture, son. Gone with the Wind.
Your hobby is showing the same picture over and over?
Only one scene.
One scene?
Where Grant takes Richmond.
I see.
I run the film backwards, son.
You mean?
Yeah. I just sit there and watch Richmond taking Grant. Come on, come on.
Well, the senator probably thinks the girl in Gone with the Wind is O'Hara Scarlett. Well, I see Mr. Moody's light his arm.
Howdy, Bob.
Tell me, Mr. Moody, have you a hobby?
Oh, I've had lots of hobbies. I've been on the radio twice.
Oh, with your hobbies?
Yeah. First time I went to New York with 200 pounds of putty.
200 pounds of putty, huh?
Saving putty was my hobby.
Well, what did you do on the air?
I just spoke my name, said the putty was mine.
I see.
Fella that was running the program, he felt my putty and he says, "No hard feelings," and thank you, Miss Moody.
Thank you.
The audience stomped and whistled. They thought it was putty good.
Oh, Mr. Moody.
I picked up my putty and come home.
Well, you've had, since this putty episode, you've had other hobbies since?
Oh, yes. One time I was collecting deer ends.
Deer ends?
Yeah. Everybody was mounting deer heads. I started collecting what was left over.
Oh!
I had 20 deer ends mounted on the walls.
20 deer ends.
When I opened the door...
Yes?
Seemed like I was overtaking a herd.
What is your latest hobby?
Oh, I've given up hobbies.
Why?
Last hobby I had was giving moose calls.
Well, why have you given up your moose calls?
Well, one morning at daybreak, I went up to the top of the hill.
I see.
Put on an old fur coat and a fur cap.
Mm-hmm.
Got down on all fours.
Yeah?
I give out with a moose call.
Uh-huh.
Big she-moose come over the hill running.
Uh-huh.
She nuzzled up to me and started licking my fur cap.
The moose was in love with you, huh? Well, what did you do?
Well, I got up and explained matters as best I could.
And?
A big tear come into her eye.
And the moose?
She turned and walked away.
And that's why you've given up your hobby of moose calls?
Yeah, but somewhere in them hills tonight...
Yes?
There's a moose with a broken heart. So long, Bub.
So long. Well, I never suspected that Mr. Moody was a lady killer. Oh, well, let's try this next door.
No?
Ah, Mrs. Nussbaum.
You were expecting maybe Moranica Lake.
Tell me, Mrs. N, do you have a hobby?
Since a little girl, cooking is by me a hobby.
Ah, you like to cook, huh?
From all kinds of different magazines, I'm cutting recipes.
Different dishes, huh?
From Health magazine, I'm making mock pot roast.
Mock pot roast?
You are mixing 2 pound soybeans with the yolks of 2 eggplants.
Oh, that does it. Well, how does this mock pot roast taste?
It is all mock and no pot roast.
Well, what other magazine recipes have you tried?
I'm making native fish chowder.
What is that?
All kinds of fish, 2 quarts milk, and for luck, I'm throwing in 2 horseshoe crabs.
2 horseshoe crabs for lunch. Well, that sounds good.
On top, I'm putting 2 station eyes.
Well, what magazine had this recipe, a chowder with 2 eyes?
Look.
Oh, look. That's fine.
And from Reader's Digest, I'm making a receipt.
Oh, from Reader's Digest.
It is 1 pinch flour, 2 drops water, 3 grains sugar, 1 thimble Crisco, also half a raisin.
You bake this?
It is coming out a cookie.
Oh. Well, if your hobby is cooking and you keep cooking these weird recipes, who eats them?
My husband, Pierre.
And what is Pierre's hobby?
Taking bicarbonate.
Oh. Well, that brings us to the last shanty in the alley. I wonder what will happen here.
Greetings all from the king of Ode. Falstaff's here with his weekly load.
Falstaff. What new poems are you toting tonight?
Have you heard the toast of the Bronx is Mrs. Malone? She plays Ailey on her slide trombone.
No.
Or the kangaroo's pouch was stretched too far when a cop jumped in and said, follow that car.
Tonight we're simply discussing hobbies.
Why am I here? Precisely.
I know what you have. What is your poem called?
Hobbies.
How does it go?
Hobbies are the current rage, the vogue among all classes. Millionaires have hobbies, likewise the lowly masses. Stamp collections, mustache cups, autographs and string, buttons, ships in bottles, and records sung by Bing. My so-called hobbies are unorthodox. I collect odd items, rare. Old racing forms, cigar butts I acquire here and there. A dirty wad of chewing gum, a discarded crust of bread, stubs of opera tickets, an orchid long since dead. My collecting isn't a hobby, you connoisseurs may say. You're right. Collecting is my profession. I'm a street cleaner on Broadway.
Now from Falstaff and his gutter habitat, we turn to our city choir, the 5 DeMarco sisters. Accompanied by Al Goodman and his refugee revelers, the DeMarco sing, You Won't Be Satisfied.
You won't be satisfied until you break my heart. You're never satisfied until the teardrops die. I tried to shower you with love and kisses, but all I ever get from you is nagging and breaking my poor heart is begging the way. You taught my heart to cry in shame. I bet you wouldn't like it if I did the same. You're only happy tearing all my dreams apart. You won't be satisfied until you break my heart. You won't be satisfied until you break my heart. You're never satisfied until the teardrops die. I tried to shower you with love and kisses, you did, but all I ever get from you is nagging and breaking my poor heart is begging all the way. You turned my heart around the crying shame. I'll bet you wouldn't like it if I did the same. You're only happy tearing all my dreams apart. Oh, you won't be satisfied until you break my heart. Until you break my heart.
That was a jigger of 2 of Oh, What It Seemed to Be, played by Maestro Al Goodman and his Bronx Bobcats. Someday I won't get here in time. The music gets shorter and shorter. Say, Portland.
Yes?
Did your mother like the birthday present I sent her? You know, Mr. Goodman's album of familiar waltzes.
Well, one of the records is cracked.
Really? Which one?
The Blue Danube.
Did she play it?
Yes. Mama said the Blue Danube sounded like Flushing Bay.
Fine. You could use that other now, right? Get this now. It's fine. You can use that right here, too.
Do you think you could exchange the record?
Not I. If your mother wants to return that record, she can do it herself. I had enough trouble in that music shop.
What happened?
Well, the other afternoon I started out to buy Mr. Goodman's album for your mother. I was walking down Broadway. I finally came to a music store called Jukebox Heaven. A little plaque in the window said, Carmen Lombardo slept here. As I opened the door, I heard a salesman arguing with a customer. The salesman said,
I'm sorry, sir, I never heard of that song. None of your blooming lip, you blasted bounder. I'll have you sacked. Where's the manager? Manager?
Arthur Treacher. Arthur, whatever is the trouble?
Why, this obnoxious flunky refuses to sell me a record. Manager?
Now, stop yelling, Arthur. What song do you want?
Well, it's called Permitted to Precipitate.
Permitted to precipitate. Oh, clerk, bring Mr. Treacher, Let It Snow. Have you heard some of our others? Have you heard Hammerstein and Rogers' masterpiece? It might as well be spring.
The lyrics are positively silly.
Silly?
Now, that line, I'm as busy as a spider spinning daydreams.
Well?
A spider spinning daydreams? Have you ever seen what comes out of a spider? It looks like a lot of dirty dental floss.
Now, wait a minute.
And that other line. I feel so gay in a melancholy way. Well, it's definitely paradoxical. It is emotionally impossible to feel gay in a melancholy way.
Oh, I know what you mean. It's like a mortician smiling. Gay in a melancholy way. Well, look, Arthur, if you don't like our American songs...
Fred, I want to take some new American numbers back to England with me. Haven't you something else London has never heard that I can take back?
Say, how about hillbilly music, Arthur? Now, London might be go for hillbillies.
You mean those rustic blighters who walk around with no bottoms on their backs?
Would you like to try a hillbilly roll?
I say that might be jolly.
Good. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the premiere performance of Great Britain's first hillbilly star, Elmer Treacher, in a stirring rural drama entitled, Since He Grew Too Tall for the Family Trailer, Mammy's Little Baby Needs Shortening. Music, maestro.
Breakfast ready, Zeke. Come and get it.
What's for chow, Ma?
Owl eggs and possum jowl, Paul.
Owl eggs again. Yeah, I'll get my teeth and be right with you, Ma.
Howdy, Pa. Howdy, Mom.
Howdy, son. Son, was there any letter at the post office this morning?
Want nothing, Pa.
Conson the Major, why don't he write?
Pa, it's 10 years since you was with that Major Bowles unit.
Ma, the last words the Major said when the unit broke up in the basement of that Turkish bath at Little Rock, Zeke, the Major says, when I want you again, I'll send the word.
I'll be ziggity-dig dog. When the Major sends the word, Paul, can I go with you?
You keep practicing your tissue paper and comb, son, and I'll take you. Take you along. Fetch you with me.
Ef'n you're taking Elmer to the city, Paul, reckon it's time you had a little talk with him.
Think so? About the bees and flowers?
I can tell a bee from a flower, Paul. A flower don't sting you.
How old are you, son?
Well, I've been keeping count, Paul. I'll figure it out.
Good, Elmer. Now you get to figuring.
All my fingers.
That's 10.
All my toes.
20.
All my fingers again.
30.
The toes on my right foot.
That's 35.
And this year, I'm up to the big toe on the left foot.
You're 36, son. Elmer, it's time you knowed about women.
Women? Yahoo!
Son, Elmer. Son, come down off that wall.
Oh, shucks, Pa.
Jeepers, it's time he knowed, Ma. Hand me the Sears Roebuck catalog, will you, Ma?
Here you are, Pa.
Now, where's that female bell brigging section? Here it is. Now, Elmer.
Here, Pa.
There's two kinds of humans. Pants wearing uns and skirt wearing uns.
Pa?
The skirt-wearing uns is the women.
Oh, poor.
Now, here, Ma. Put the catalog back. The boy ain't ready yet. That fuzz on his lip fooled me.
Elmer never learned nothing around here, Pa. Let's get up and go to the city.
Oh, I ain't budging till the major sends the word.
You could have sold this shanty to that man that come round last week. He sure was anxious.
Yeah, said this was last place in the country he had left.
We ought to go, Pa. The land's poor. Cows are so weak they gotta lean against the barn to move.
Jeep. What's that shooting?
I'll be double ding-dong past the Joneses again.
Well, fake my deal and call me Hezekiah. I thought we killed all them Joneses.
A new batch of Joneses come yesterday, Pa. They're starting up the feud again.
Oh, dang dude it. There goes our picture Senator Claghorn, Ma. Folks, grab your guns and start firing. Hold your fire. We got him. We wiped out them Joneses again.
Let's pack up, Pa, and get.
More, we're musicians. We ain't a-leaving till the major sends the word.
Pa.
What's up, Elmer?
Boy, one of them there Joneses are coming across the creek. He's waving a white flag.
Open the door, Elmer. Keep your distance, you varmint Jones.
Don't shoot, Zeke.
This is your grand finale how-to-do and climax, Jones.
Don't put the distance to me, Zeke.
Say, hey, you're a new Jones, ain't you?
I just come back.
Yeah?
I was the little Jones runt that run away with the washboard 20 years ago.
You ain't little no-count shirt-tail Spike Jones.
Yeah? You just killed off my whole band. I need musicians. I heard you was musical family. Major Bowles told me.
Ma, the major sent the word. Elmer, get out your comb. Ma, start lipping your jug. The good old major has put me with the only Major Bowles unit left, the Spike Jones Band.
How about a song, Zeke?
Let her rip, Spike.
Stop a while and listen to my story. I just come down from the hill.
I went there to find my childhood sweetheart, but she's gone, her voice forever still.
Oh, they cut down the old pine tree, and they hold it away to live, and make a pop in the pine for their sweetheart of mine. Oh, they cut down the old pine tree. But she's not alone in the hills tonight, for it's there my heart will always be. So they drifted apart till they cut down my heart, when they cut down the old pine tree, that old pine tree.
This has been the Fred Allen Show with Fred's guest, Arthur Treacher. And now, as a special after show for our Armed Forces listeners, the five DeMarco sisters gather around the microphone to bring you a few of the songs you have requested them to sing.
I do, fast as I can take a choo-choo. I came a long way to take you in my arms. And how would your first move to prove that you've been true? Come to baby, do. You've been way beyond the blue horizon. I'm hoping no one else is on your mind. So my can't you see? Chicory chick is me. Chicory chick, cha-la, check-a-la-room, me in a banana, kabalica, wallaka, can't you see? Chicory chick is me.
Sorry, girls, but time's up. The five DeMarco sisters have been entertaining us with a group of songs they've been requested to sing for our overseas troops. This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
Open your mouth and say, chicory chick, cha-la, check-a-la-room, me